All right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing One Ring's second edition tonight. We are continuing through our Waking of Angmar campaign. It's nice to see some new faces in the chat, or new names, I should say, in the chat. Thank you for the subs that we're getting as well. Appreciate that. We ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger as Ashley's character was in the process of dying. So we'll complete that process right off the bat, as always. And then we'll introduce Ashley's new one. So that'll be how it works.
Oh no!
But
no.
No. That's what, you don't want Ashley to have a new character. You just want her to sit here all by herself, Melissa, and not do anything for 2 hours. That seems very cruel. That seems wrong.
I think
I'm gonna have to create a character over the next 2 hours.
What? You didn't do your homework? Make a backup?
I did my Traveler homework.
Yeah, we did just play Traveler last night. That was fun. Character creation. So we created characters last night in Traveler, and today I get to kill Ashley's character. It's a wonderful start, and no, we'll see. You're not, you've got some tricks up your sleeve, you little sneaky hobbitsies, and we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully.
We'll see. You, as I think it was Steve who said this. You have the very mentally stable Marimben there to help you, so I'm sure everything will go fine. Sure, everything will go just fine. Not a TPK. Well, yeah, it could be a TPK. There's always the potential. I never want a TPK in One Ring. Well,
no.
That's probably an inaccurate statement.
You always want one survivor.
Yeah.
Just to continue the fellowship. Yeah.
Preferably one of the NPCs because I like them better than the fellowship. So.
Someone to tell the story.
I'm just playing.
No, I get it.
All right. Why don't we introduce the PCs so everyone can say goodbye to them? No, I'm just teasing. But we'll start with Floy. So, Long, tell us about Floy.
Yeah, I'm playing Floy as a young dwarf adventurer. His calling is a treasure hunter, so he's always looting for the gold, those relic pieces. And Shadow Path is the dragon sickness, but we haven't really gotten into too deep in the Shadow Path.
Not yet. No one's had a bout of madness yet. Yeah, that's the other thing. When you get too high, you could potentially pop a bout of madness. I think a couple people took shadow scars though, to help some of the shadow accumulation. Have you taken any, Floy? Have you taken any?
Yeah, I took one shadow scar, and maybe one more soon if I get any more.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Do you remember what Floy was doing when last we played?
Yeah, he was looking for escape paths or that the orcs could go through, and he was sabotaging those to delay their travel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Farco Dev, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, so you and Thorvim and Thebe, all the dwarves I think all the doors went up there, and you were sabotaging some escape routes because the idea is that the warband's looking for a good pass through to Mount Gundabad, and through some before you all got here, Thorvim and Thebe were doing this by themselves, but you're here and you're helping even more. So it's just sort of slowing them down, and it's caused the warband to sort of remain stagnant here as they're trying to push through to get to Gundabad. So it's giving you all time to cut the head off the snake, as I think is sort of the plan. So yeah, okay. Moving over, we'll talk to Ashley about Gilly. If there's anything particular about Gilly we should know, now's the time to tell us.
Gilly Kettlegrass, she's a Bree Habit. Her calling is she's a scholar, and she has this journal where she just keeps track of all of our adventures and her notes and such things. I also decided that her little lantern that she always has is acorn shaped. And what else? Yeah, she currently went with Marimbem to go and check out where the trolls and stuff are being kept in this cave, and I rolled an Eye of Sauron, and she fell into the cave. So that's where Gilly's currently at.
Yeah, it was tricky. It was one of those tricky things. Oh, look at Steven trying to bribe the lore master with a little, okay.
Well, this was pay to win.
Well, Yeah, so we were doing a little skill endeavor as you all were doing some investigation, trying to figure some things out, trying to figure out the best time to maybe isolate the warband's leader, Rotag, who you presume is an Olak High. And yeah, just roll the Naya Sauron at just the wrong time, and things are gonna go bad. We'll see. Again, you're a hobbit. If this was anybody else, they're totally screwed. But as a hobbit, you do have a couple tricks up your sleeves. We'll talk about that in a moment. You and I were chatting about it earlier today.
Yeah.
There's a possibility for you to be okay here.
Maybe.
Even without anything crazy.
We'll see.
You got a lot of conditions, I think, right now. I was looking at your token. You had there's like 5 different little icons on it. So yeah.
I've had a rough go.
Yeah. It's been rough. Well, you guys are in Angmar. I mean, it's the outskirts of Angmar, but you're you're on the far southeast corner of Angmar. You're right next to Mount Gundabad. You are in some deep, dark territory right here. So this is a tall task for you all, because you guys aren't Aragorn and Legolas and that yet. Maybe one day we'll get there, but I mean,
if we live,
you guys are just normal, young.
Well,
heroes.
we're
Aragorn
young.
Exceptions,
That's the thing.
not young. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. So speaking of rangers, let's go down to Arinial. Melissa, tell us about Arinial.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the Johnny Cash lyrics in chat.
Ring of Sauron.
So Arinial is our ranger champion. She actually shares a shadow path with Marimbem. So they both have Curse of Vengeance, but Arinial is nowhere near as far along that shadow path as Marimbem is. But I am going to be swapping out my shadow points for another shadow scar, because I am very, very, very low on hope. And we saw what the whole miserable thing did to Gilly last time. So I'll get one use of hope before I go miserable again.
Yeah. Ashley, it's not pay to win. Steven was
kidding. I'm here for the boost train, Jeff.
Okay. I'm just saying, it's not pay to win. Okay. Oh boy, is that a DM Chuck? Do I see a DM Chuck?
Yeah, that is a Chuck.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I see a Protista. I see a Dan. Dan's here too. Oh,
gifting.
Okay. Right.
Because had Gilly done that last time, that roll wouldn't have been an automatic fail.
Yeah.
With the miserable.
Yep.
Swapping out for a shadow scar, but it's our first time playing, so we're not used to all the ins and outs.
This is actually episode 14, so we've been playing since December. It is almost April, so this is not our first time playing.
I mean,
Steven has that excuse.
The whole
the rest of us don't.
Progress of shadow points and scars and all that kind of stuff.
Fine. I'm surprised I'm not dead yet.
I am too.
I feel like you're trying to die.
You just hoard all the hope. Isn't that what it is? Floyd just hoards all the hope.
Yeah.
The hope and the treasure and all the stuff.
All right, let's go to our newest acquisition, but also our oldest member. We got Erebon. Steven, tell us about Erebon.
Erebon is a elf of Linden, and he's been hanging out in Angmar for some unknown reason. Talking about shadow paths, you might have figured out he is on the path of despair. He despairs quite easily, slightly cowardly, but so far he's been there for every fight. He's not going to leave you alone or anything. I just would prefer that we kind of, we're on the outskirts of Angmar. Maybe we should be on the outskirts of all the fighting too.
Yes.
The outskirts of the outskirts.
Yeah.
We can pick our path carefully, right?
I really liked on Twitter when you dropped that. I think it was Twitter. Was it Discord? You dropped that GIF of this is what's happening today. And it was this aggressive stabbing of a spear. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Erebon's just gonna run away.
So Erebon has a great spear, like the famed Gilgalad. So I dropped a GIF of Gilgalad being badass, and Erebon's not necessarily as adept with a spear, but it's like correlation,
The body is dropped in front of him. He'll go through the effort to pick up the spear and stab at it.
I got a kill.
Yeah.
I got a kill.
You did.
It
And
was literally thrown in front of me.
I replied with a gift of Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone screaming and running away, which is more, I think, more akin to what's happening. So
Little column A, little column B.
A little bit. Well, all right then. I think we can get started. Thank you for everyone who's throwing out subs and stuff. It's very nice of you. Okay, so summary. We are, as I've already mentioned, we are kind of in southeastern edges of Angmar. We are in the shadows of the Misty Mountains, which are off to the east. Mount Gundabad is where we presume the orcs are headed. This war band that you've been tracking for quite some time, led by what we now know as an Olog High, a special kind of troll, a new breed of troll, that is like kind of at the forefront of this war band. And your dwarven friends, who you just recently rescued from being overrun by some orcs, they've been sabotaged. They've been following and sabotaging some of the efforts of this warband, trying to move through the mountains, whether it's through caves or over top, to try to get over to Gundabad. So they've been like collapsing caves, causing rock slides, etc., etc. And that's allowed the warband to stall out a bit on the ruins of some kind of old settlement or such in the southeast bits of Angmar, right? So it's here, there's like shrines and tombs, and from what Erebon was able to deduce, probably likely some underground passageways or things like that might be around. Rotag, you've learned, it basically camps out atop one of these shrines, essentially by himself, though he does have this kind of scrawny, strange-looking figure, like some kind of weird little goblin carrying a flag or a herald that follows him around like on a leash, it seems like. And he's also got his own personal attendants. And then his lieutenants, which you've learned, there's kind of three particularly powerful lieutenants within the warband. There's this warg keeper who tends to all the wargs that are within the group, who are also trying to like hunt down these like white furred hard to acquire wargs that are somewhere around the area. There's a troll driver that has like this big old whip and is kind of keeping the feral cave trolls at bay. And there is this orcish shield bearer who kind of wanders around the foot soldier camps with this big old shield. And they tend to be like the three most noteworthy like lieutenants of Rotag within this war band structure. Whereabouts all of them are as well. You know that the war keeper makes a camp near this copse of trees that's to the southwest of like the larger war band camp. You know that the shield bearer tends to shift between a couple of these different fires around the main foot soldier area. That's kind of at the center. You know that the troll driver is to the east northeast, kind of at the base of the mountains, where they're keeping some of those feral trolls inside of a cave. And you know that Rotag's shrine is kind of to the northwest of the camp. That's near where the gap that they were going to take to reach Gundabad is. So you kind of have a general idea of the layout of the camp and where everybody is. You have three NPCs with you who have been aiding you. Marimben, the human ranger, who has moved herself kind of down her own curse of vengeance as she's hates trolls. Her daughter was killed by trolls. You've got Thorvum and Thebe, who have been tracking Rotag since his warband did horrible things to dwarves down in south around a colony in the Dunland where these dwarves are from. But yeah, you guys decided you were going to do some scouting. Erebon and Auriniel were trying to get a better feel for Rotag specifically, so you kind of took a peek at his shrine. Erebon, you think that there are passageways that you might be able to come up under and maybe potentially bypass some of the defenses and get on Rotag before some of his attendants can fall on him for help. Floy went up into the mountains to sort of continue the sabotage efforts to prevent the warband from moving off, and Gilly and Marimben were peeking at the trolls. Unfortunately, as Ashley mentioned, Gilly had a bad roll, and she has fallen down a ridge, and she has landed smack dab in the middle of this camp with what looks like two different orcs, the troll driver that's got that big old whip, and what seems like a stone troll. So we're gonna pick up there. You ready for this, Ashley?
No.
Are you ready? I'll let you see what it looks like. This doesn't mean anything's going to happen yet, but I'll let you see what this looks like. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So you have fallen down, and you can see that right to the north of you, there's this cave entrance, and you are on top of this ridge, and you can even see, if you look closely, like Marimbem's still up on the ridge, and she's like watching in horror as you just fall down.
Mhm.
There's a campfire in the middle here. There's this stone troll off to the side. You can see the troll driver is on the other side of the fire from you, and these two just generic orc soldiers, things that you've seen before. And then there's that big old cave entrance right behind you. So this is what you're faced with as you fall down, and you can see that the rest of them are they're like eating. They're like, and they look up as a chunk of snow and rock, and then this hobbit falls to the ground. So,
Yeah.
do you have a plan? I'm gonna give you have an option to do something. Like, you're gonna get an action here, and then if whatever you try to do fails, we'll go into some kind of initiative and we'll figure out what happens.
Gilly's plan is to try and do her hobbit thing, her virtue, her art of disappearing.
Okay.
So that's if I get an extra 6 in a stealth roll, I can immediately disappear.
Okay, now walk us through the conditions that you're facing. That you're like, what do you have on you? Like, in terms of like miserable,
So
weary, etc.
we were kind of discussing beforehand, and I was miserable.
Yeah.
So Gilly took a shadow scar during her fall. Just like the absolute panic of this happening as she's trying to like grab onto the rocks and it's ripping her nails as she's falling down.
Yeah.
So I'm no longer miserable, but I am wounded.
Mm-hmm. We have we're not technically in combat, so this is a pre-combat attempt for you to do something. So the fellowship points don't necessarily apply. Melissa, do we have audience points left over from last week? We have nothing.
No, we do
Nothing.
not.
Mhm.
No.
You're all on your own, Gilly.
No bits.
What's the plan here? You get up, you're dusting yourself off. You see this like stone troll kind of looks over to you. It's looks like I don't know, some kind of piece of meat of some creature like hanging from its mouth, kind of blood splashing around it. You can see the orcs are sort of the same. Both of the ones to the south, like the normal looking, just regular generic run of the mill orcs, are kind of grabbing these cleavers that they have like stabbed into the ground. They're picking them up. And then the troll driver, like the larger, again, this is just an orc, but a kind of tall, lithe-looking orc, looks a little different, stands out, begins to unfurl the whip as they're staring down, trying to make sense of exactly what you are. As it's kind of confusing to see this. So what do you do?
So the plan is to kind of like feint like I'm running into the cave. And then kind of in the darkness of it, that's when of the mouth of the cave, that's when she's going to try and disappear. And then kind of like head off towards this way.
Okay, so before you do the roll, so your special like disappearance thing only happens when you get a bonus 6, right?
A bonus 6, yeah.
So if you get that bonus 6 on your roll and you pass, that means you're gonna do that. But what if you don't get the bonus 6? What do you do then? It sort of sets some stakes.
If I fail?
Before this. Yeah. Not so much if you fail. Like, again, just succeeding on the roll doesn't give you your disappearance. You have to get a bonus.
Yeah.
You can still pass a roll and not get that. And it just means I would get an awareness test to see if they notice.
She's going to run.
Which way? Like, try to get out of the camp or try to go into the cave?
Out of the camp. Like, she's going to try and run along this side, away from Maribem.
Okay. All right. We did just get a one audience bit from Crippler there, so you do have you can burn that if you like for an extra bonus die.
I might need to.
For it.
So my plan is, I'm gonna roll stealth. I'm no longer miserable, so I'm gonna burn a hope and use keen-eyed to help me get 2 dice to help.
And how is keen-eyed? Yeah, how's keen-eyed
I'm looking for cover.
Okay.
It's stuff like that.
Okay.
So bump that down to 5.
Fair enough. So you're just looking for like the quickest and smartest path out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I will burn that.
And we are back up to 6 fellowship points.
That's
I can't
not
use
gonna
that. It's
apply
not
here
combat.
on this roll. When we
That's
get
true.
into combat, it will.
That's true.
This is she's rolling this to try to avoid going into combat.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, yeah. And I don't have support of a companion. Okay, so I have 3 bonus dice.
Okay.
And we're ripping it. Oh, thank God.
Wow.
You said you had 3 bonus dice. It rolled
Fantastic.
5.
Did it?
It
Oh, it
rolled
did.
5.
I just put the 3 on the side.
What
Well,
well, did you have
your
2
stealth
base
then.
dice?
Your stealth, yeah. What's your stealth?
Yeah.
What's your stealth score?
Oh, I have 2.
2.
Yeah, there you go. That's where
Okay.
it came from. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so describe how this looks, because it does, like, you're like, because we looked at it very carefully, that your specific Hobbit cultural virtue that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, it says, like, to people who are looking in your direction, they think you essentially just vanish, right?
Yeah.
So describe what this looks like.
So from like the point of view of like the troll driver, because he's looking at me from like over the fire, so he sees me start running towards the cave, and like through like the weird like mirage of like the heat, he sees me enter the shadows, and like normally he can see the shapes like in the cave, but
Yeah.
suddenly I'm not there anymore.
Okay, so you slink into the shadows. You slip off. You use like the kind of the shadows that are kind of casting down. It's I think
Mhm.
we said it's dusk, so
Yeah.
it's like towards the end of the day. So like there's some strange shadows that are being cast. There's not a whole lot of light to begin with here in Angmar.
Yeah.
Like there's a constant sense of like overcast skies, right? So the light that's coming from that flickering fire where they were cooking some things seems to be throwing and kind of cascading these strange little shadows, and you're able to use that as you sneak
Mhm.
and kind of shimmy along the sides of the caves. The whole party gets up at this point, and you hear a thunk, and you look back to exactly where you were standing, and one of those cleavers that the orcs were sitting off to the eastern side of that fire threw it right where you were, meaning like had you not moved, that cleaver could have just like split you in 2. And like they're kind of looking, and then you see if like he kind of runs up, looks around on the ground. He's looking for footprints. You can tell. Like it's just they're not even really talking, just sniffing. It seems too, trying to get a sense of wherever you might be, and you can hear them. You can hear from the other side of the fire. What was that? Where did it go? You stupid snuffer. Find it fast. And that's the troll driver who like brings the whip out. You just hear it kind of crack a bit, and then the 2 other like these regular orcs kind of like wither at that and get very nervous, and they start spreading out and looking around. Meanwhile, the stone troll kind of guy, where did it go? Oh, that was small dwarf. Must find small dwarf. And you see the stone troll starts going into the cave at this point, whereas the troll, like the one with the whip, is just sort of staying there, very smooth, like right around the fire, kind of just peering around as the 2 orcs are sniffing and looking at the snow and the rock and trying to find any signs of your footsteps. The stone troll is kind of left, but you're able to very very carefully with your effectiveness, you're able to like hide out. They split up for a moment, and with your extraordinary success, you did so well in the roll. I'm not going to require anything else. You managed to sneak back up the ridge, and you're like looking around for Marimbem, and all of a sudden you feel something like a hand on your shoulder, like a little start, like maybe the orcs have found you. But you look back, and you can see like Marimbem's right there, and her other hand right over your mouth at that point, and she's just doing one of those things and trying to lead you like further up the mountain, and trying to use that like this long circuitous route up and around the mountain.
Yeah, Gilly's heart is just in her throat like the entire time. Like I picture at one point one of them gets kind of close to her. She's like huddled up against like the rock wall, and she's just holding her breath as it's like sniffing at her.
Yeah, I smell not dwarf, something else.
Pee.
Okay. You do, in fact, get away with your extraordinary success. I did get some of your hope, and I did get a shadow scar, so I feel like I got paid for that. So I'm okay with it. As long as I get paid for it, that's fine. Okay.
Ashley, you get to save that blank character sheet for another day.
Yes.
I know. I started working on it, and I'm like,
It's
fuck.
good.
Does the opposite rolls, the like critical failure on the last one, and the extraordinary success on this one.
Great roll.
Exactly.
It's a great roll. It's very
The
clutch.
crippler saved my life.
Got you another. Yep. You got a lot of die on that one. Okay. So we left off actually in the middle of this scouting skill endeavor. You had reduced the resistance to the endeavor down to 1, and you still have 5 attempts left. So we'll assume that Gilly is out of it for right now.
I'm done.
Yeah, you and Marimbem are sneaking off. Ariniel and Erebon, you're still, like the last we saw you, you were at Rotag Shrine. You can move and go elsewhere. That's fine. And then Floyd, you were with the dwarves, kind of trying to sabotage their exit routes. Who has an idea for how to sort of like finish off this skill endeavor for scouting? What kind of more information maybe that you do want to learn to help kind of make your attempts to cut off Rotag even more successful? Who has an idea?
I've been so engrossed in everything that was happening with Gilly, I wasn't thinking about what I was gonna do next. I was hoping she was gonna live.
Well, because of your hesitation, Rotag comes down from the shrine. It's now 1v2. You two are dead. Go ahead, Steven. You got something.
I'm not sure. Reniel, you and I are kind of together right now.
Yeah.
We've scouted out a way to sneak up on Rotag, but we haven't really scouted out the path that he would take to get to the shrine or retreat from. That might be worth checking out to see if there's a way to like cut him off in case he does get away or something like that.
I like it.
Or because like he has a lieutenant who comes up and checks, like takes him there at at night and visits him there in the morning. So do they take the same path?
You get the sense that like the different, like it's almost like a reporting thing. Like there's been a lot of talk about how like the band has a strange level of like organization to it, more than you would expect, and how like they're almost mimicking like the way that like humans of like Rohan or Gondor or something like that try to have this like structure to their army. And like you've seen elements of it, like you've seen the heraldry and you've seen some semblance of structure. Like for orcs it's organized, but like for, you know, if this was compared to like the riders of Rohan or something, I think it wouldn't be that organized, but you can see semblances of it.
I'm an elf of London. The riders of Rohan are not organized whatsoever.
Oh,
That's a fair
well,
point.
Mr. Hoity-toity over here.
Let me just drink my tea over here.
So
Okay.
what are we thinking? Do you have a good skill for assessing that path? I have hunting, which could...
I am a stealthy boy, so I will stealth all day long if I can.
I've got favored and 2 in hunting.
Do you want to lend a hope point to assist his stealth to try to get it? As Erebon's going to try to stealth out and kind of track the path away from the shrine towards the rest of the camp. Do you want to help him with that? You want to lend some hope already?
I try to say yes, but I basically only have 1 hope to spend before I get. So I might say that we, from Farkodev, have another D6. So.
Okay. Now
maybe
you still have 5 attempts left. You still have 5.
Exactly. That's why I wasn't necessarily gonna use the hope here.
The only thing is though, like I'm playing it that Eyes of Sauron, like an auto fails, could result in some bad stuff, which is what happened with Gilly. That's the only real danger you have. It's a very dangerous thing you guys are doing here.
Well, then I'll kind of start stealthing forward to try and check out the path that they would take, like the path I would assume they would take from their camp to the shrine and back. See if there's anything available. Arenial, if you just kind of hold back like towards the shrine, so like, you know, you're still within sight, but not necessarily in the thick of it.
Moving and making noise.
Yeah, no offense.
None of that.
And Jeff, would you say that my nice elven cloak would apply here?
Of course, yeah, this makes perfect sense.
Cool.
Are you going to take the D6?
I will wait on that
Okay.
D6 because we might need it for something else.
Wow. Starting off strong.
Okay. Yes, definitely get these rolls out of the way now before we get into combat. Okay.
That's why we're saving the D6 for when the bad rolls come.
So, Erebon, you notice a few things. As I mentioned before, like, he seems to be on top of this ruined multi-tiered shrine. And you've noticed that there appears to be some kind of opening at the base on like one side of it that you might that might go down into these passageways that you think might be under the architecture of this whatever this was, some kind of settlement, right? You do know that there are like two attendants that are almost regularly nearby, like these two fairly big brawny orcs themselves. They don't look like slouches. They certainly look more capable than those that you were fighting along the ridge to save Thorfinn and Thebe. They don't have that kind of scrawny look to them. But they do kind of keep their distance, and you can notice now as night is falling that they do seem to create this kind of patrol in an area, but they don't like to get too close, it seems, to where Rotag is specifically staying. You notice that there is a path that kind of leads in this circuitous fashion, sort of first westward and then kind of curves back down southward, down like a ridge, and then you can see that's where those big old camps of foot soldiers begin. If you were to time it out, you would probably guess that at a full speed, someone could probably run there between those camps and between where that shrine of Rotag is, maybe 5 minutes. So like there's a little bit of time you have, like if you're quick, that you could
We'd
potentially
have to be fast though.
Yeah. So like it's not so close that they're going to be on you right away, but you have a little bit of time.
That ridge you said, the camps are at the bottom of it and the shrine is towards the top?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll start making my way back to Erennial and share with her what we know. Basically, we have a way that we can get there fairly stealthily without being observed. We won't have too much time, but we do have a bit of a window. If we're quiet, we'll be fine. If it's noisy, that won't be good at all. Maybe there's a way to block the ridge somehow because they're going up. That's something to discuss when we get back to camp.
Yeah, a few minutes is better than no minutes. And I think Erennial, while Erebon was gone, is kind of going to be thinking about kind of all the things that Erebon has been saying about like how he's like kind of lived so much longer than us, and just sort of this endless loop of like battles and fighting and kind of the toll that it takes on Marambem with kind of all of the fighting and killing that she's doing. And so when you come back, you kind of see Erennial just seems to be sort of thinking about all of those things, and she's kind of very kind of distressed look on her face. I'm also choosing to take a shadow scar, so that was sort of my contemplation on how that happened.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll say that as nightfall comes, it's at this point probably everyone who was off on their various objectives starts to peel backwards as safely as possible back towards that cave where Thorvum and Thebe had set up camp, and you were able to kind of move that large rock in the way to sort of break any sight of it. And one by one, each of the three groups makes its way back, and so midway through the night, everyone's returned. And so yeah, everyone's there. Marambem is there with Gilly, who looks pale as can be.
Yeah.
Experiences. And then Thorvum and Thebe and Floy are kind of, they're probably the last ones there, as they probably traveled the furthest away, but they make it there last. And so everyone arrives, and you have the night to strategize, and then you can also take a long rest potentially as well. It's up to you guys. It's up to you all to figure out like when do you want to do stuff, and that's for you all. You can talk it out in character as well, and sort of figure out a plan.
One more question real quick. We know that he goes to the shrine. Can you remind me what time he normally goes to the shrine?
Yeah, he usually gets there like late afternoon, just before dusk. So Gotcha. He's kind of there. And then he'll walk the grounds for a bit during the day. And you can see there's, like, you didn't necessarily have the time to follow him around to see what he does, but you do know from speaking with Thorvum and Thebe that he does kind of walk the grounds and deals with certain groups here and there. So, but usually just before dusk, he arrives at the shrine, and he's there pretty much through dawn.
Gilly, why is your clothing so soiled?
Oh, she's already cleaned it. She's not
Thought
that
you were coming back
gross.
all dusty.
Oh, dusty, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no prestidigitation in this game. It's a while to clean
Yeah,
clothes in
yeah.
One Ring.
Well, and you'll see her. She like looks at Maribem, and she's kind of sitting closer to her than she normally was. And well, we went to go check out the troll caves, and I slipped and I fell in front of the troll caves, and there was a troll outside, and there was the driver and two others, and I was pretty sure I was gonna die.
How did you make it out?
I was terrified, and so I just wanted to get out of there, and I just looked for where could I hide, and that's what I did. I was a coward, and I hid, and I got out of there.
I don't think that was cowardly. I think that was the smart thing to do. You were outsized and outnumbered. And Erinil's just going to sort of look at Maribem, just sort of to see, sort of like, what did you have to intervene in this?
No, the little one got away on her own. She might not be as powerful as the rest of us, but she's savvy and quick to wit. She held herself firm and found a way to elude them in the shadows. Useful task that was.
And she kind of,
We did.
for a moment, she kind of reaches out almost like she's gonna ruffle your hair, but then her hand kind of stops short of doing that, and she just sort of pulls it back and like kind of looks at her hand, almost like surprised that she was willing to do that, and then she goes back to just kind of staring at like her food and kind of picking it apart and eating whatever she's got.
Could I roll to see if when I was looking into the cave as I was walking in to the shadows, was I able to notice anything? But I would roll that at like super disadvantage because I'm panicked.
Nope.
Okay.
You're not getting that. Had you got, I asked you if you wanted to go in, and you did.
Yeah.
I'll say this: like, you looked in, and from what you could tell, like, you couldn't see anything inside. But
Okay.
you're not sure if, like, everything was happening so quick. You're not sure if it was because it was too dark or whether it bent or anything like that. But you weren't able to go deep enough into it to really get a good feel for what's in there.
Okay, good.
And Erinil will then look to Erebon and say, I mean, this seems to be the danger of traveling on top of the ground. Were you telling me earlier that there are potentially paths under the ground that maybe we could make some traveling under a bit more cover?
Indeed, there are tunnels that travel underneath the shrines into nearby areas that we may be able to use to our advantage. We should be able to reach the shrine completely hidden, and possibly even use the tunnels to lie in wait for the trap to be sprung. There's also the ridge that leads down to the camp. Perhaps we could find a way to block the ridge in a hurry that would delay them if we are chased. However, our main concern should be to chop the head off the snake. I think blocking the ridge would be only useful if we are unsuccessful in killing the target.
So I suppose it would be a good idea to locate the other tunnel entrances so that we know.
Jeff,
better way
how
in?
much of the recon of the tunnels did we actually do?
I think it was more of a lore test you took to sort of
Right.
understand. I think that's what it was. It was a lore test.
Yeah.
To understand,
Yeah, it
like,
was
what
lore.
this. Yeah, so you haven't actually located a way down yet. So that's something you would probably still need to do.
Yes. I would suggest that we rest tonight, and then tomorrow we have most of the day to prepare and lie in wait if he arrives around dusk.
and Floy, you would know from your from what you and the dwarves did in sort of the gap to the Gundabad, like they're not leaving tomorrow. There's no way the warband can get up and move. So you do have a day at least.
Yeah, it bought us a few days. Some of us are wounded. Can't rush into this.
And are we also going to make use of our numbers to maybe have some folks either let out some of the wargs, or kind of do some other cave damage, perhaps?
I think that could be a good idea. It would draw some attention off us, as long as we can ensure that the timing is correct and we do not cause the leader to change his plans, his daily routine.
Kind of a coordinated, synchronized attack. I think from a practical perspective, being able to rest through the night means that we can divvy out some of those fellowship points as hope points to help with a little bit of this. Whoever's close to being miserable.
Yeah, I think you guys have 6 fellowship points restored.
Yes.
So yeah, we can do that long rest if you want. If you want to do a long rest, you can pop that on your character sheets and then figure out who gets those fellowship points.
I would like, for sure, one of the fellowship points. Puts us at 5. Who else wants one?
I'll take one.
Definitely not Floy.
I think I'm good. I've got 7 hope and 0 shadow because I'm a new player still.
Okay, so we're down to
Floy, are
4
you
fellow.
good?
What does that put your guys' hope in shadow?
I now have taking 1. I'm at 6 hope with 2 shadow.
I'm at 4 hope and 2 shadow.
Okay. I can take it. Might as well. Put me on 9 and 7.
Oh my gosh. You have 7 shadow points?
Yeah.
You
Take
should
a
take
scar.
a scar. You should definitely cash that
He's
out
so
for a
greedy.
scar. And,
He
and
doesn't
don't
want
use
the
one of our
scar. He
fellowship
doesn't want it
points.
to be permanent.
Long plays it up against the edge, man. He
No,
plays it
it's
to
fine.
the edge every game.
His engine's always redlining.
That's
Oh
exactly
my
right.
goodness.
Am I allowed to say you can't use a fellowship point?
No, it's for the fellowship. A part of it.
I do think
I know.
technically you have to agree or something like that. I think
That's
that actually is
fine.
the rules.
That's
You have to
fine.
agree.
I'm the fellowship now.
You wake up.
So, oh,
Everyone's
Floy.
butchered and Floyd's the only one left.
Right? Good
Okay.
gracious. I'm debating if I want to do another one because
I think
If I
you
f-
should. 4 and 2 is kind of cutting it close. Kind of
We
like a 9
are
and 7
rolling into
situation.
combat tonight, I think.
I know, but because I'm trying to think, fellowship points are favored, which is probably more beneficial than 2d6 potentially.
If you go miserable, though, then you really get some
Yeah, that's true.
penalties.
Miserable is real bad. All right. 3 fellowship.
We're down to 2 because you and I each. I got
Yeah.
1, you got 2, Long got 1.
We just spent 4, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm bad at math. All right. But yeah, miserable is bad. So
Okay. Morning
There's that.
comes. You're feeling better about yourselves. Everyone
My
looks just a
wound
little
is
bit.
gone.
Okay. Everyone's feeling a little better. What's the plan for today?
I would say folks that are good at stealthing might want to do some of the tunnel entrance scouting.
I am happy to volunteer for that. Non-dangerous mission.
Yeah, what we're gonna do with the NPCs, we talked about this ahead of time, but we're gonna do some NPCs so that they're not too cumbersome. Anyone can take an NPC with them. There's 3, obviously, and as long as they have a distinctive feature and you all have access to what their distinctive features are, you can potentially gain either 1 or 2 extra die during a check. And so they're just kind of coming with you, so that I'm not like I was saying, so I'm not playing with my toys in front of you, like, so that we're keeping the focus on you all, and like the NPCs are there to assist you. So, but if anybody wants to bring them along, tap into them as an extra bonus, you're welcome to do that. So you want to, so one of your plans is to try to find an entrance into the tunnels. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
If I did the lore for that, I think I should be the one to go because I would possibly remember vaguely where things are. I'd be fine going solo if you guys have other missions you'd like to go on, or I could take someone stealthy with me.
I'm trying to think of other things that we would need to do during the day, because I think what we were talking about is that we don't necessarily want to do any of the other tasks except at the same time,
Right.
so that we're not kind of tipping our hand. So I don't know that there's much to do during the day today other than, I mean, I might just stay behind and try to do some type of battle test, sort of like in the little cave we're in, kind of drawing out like the shrine area, and kind of what would be good places for people to go, and kind of doing kind of some of that strategic planning maybe that isn't
Yeah,
involving.
you get the rocks and the bottle caps and you start moving around.
Yes, exactly.
Suddenly she produces one of those sticks and she's just sliding everthing around.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
She's got a whole chessboard actually, and she's using all the pieces.
Long, what were we gonna say?
I can assist her in that and be like a scout for her. I can maybe watch some of the parties they have move about for the day and report to her.
Okay. So I think what we'll say in terms of like a benefit, so we'll do a couple of rolls, and I want to make sure you all get like an actual mechanical benefit from this and not just flavor. So obviously Erebon's stealth roll will result in finding a tunnel, and how well he does will determine how close that tunnel is towards the shrine, like the best, in the shortest distance, so you're not having to travel too far. Whereas like Floy and Aurinial will say that you two putting your heads together might allow you to sort of maybe either better time the attack on Rotag, to have as much time before reinforcements arrive, because that'll be the idea. There'll be a clock on reinforcements once you engage Rotag, and maybe your sort of battle roll to time it out and figure things out might allow you some more time. Or you could give, say, a bonus to like some of the NPCs if they wanted to go try to distract something else. Like, we'll figure out a way to make it useful for you. Let's start with Erebon though. So Erebon, you head out, you get your cloak on and everything, and you kind of go as best you can solo, looking around for an unguarded entrance to the tunnels, preferably one that you might be able to kind of get underneath for. So go ahead and give us that roll.
Yeah, preferably this would be stealth, right?
Stealth's fine. I'll take stealth. Yeah.
Preferably one that's closer to our camp rather than further.
Right.
Just so.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Yeah.
I know you assumed it because you're a smart guy, but I repeat things anyways.
Okay, it's just a normal success. So, you're able to locate one that is kind of halfway between, like you find a cave, actually, another one of these caves that's on this ridge of the Misty Mountains. So like you can see on the map there, like you can see them kind of arcing in a sort of northwesternly fashion. And somewhere between where you all been keeping camp off to the southeast of the Warband's encampment, and where the troll caves are, where where Gilly almost died, somewhere between there you find this stray cave that, as you descend down into it, you find kind of a broken, kind of a broken sliver in the wall that allows you to sneak into what looks like actually refined brickwork. And so you're able to acknowledge, like you think you've made it into the passageways here. So you have an entrance, like you have an entrance, and it's really just about sort of navigating those passageways and finding your way to the shrine at that point.
And could I have brought some like charcoal from the camp as well to kind of make marks on the tunnels to try and
Sure, yeah, I think there's
give us a chance to
that's easy
navigate a little easier.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Would I know like who built these tunnels?
I mean, you did the lore roll, and so we're not going to redo the lore rolls. The lore roll basically just gave you, I don't think you had like a particularly great success on it. It just kind of gave you a a general idea of like what the layout might be. But likely, I mean, it certainly predates modern times. Most likely, it was sort of constructed during the strongest points of Angmar. So likely it was probably, and even looking at it now, you can tell there's like a crudeness to it. So you're not sort of, it was just like certain creatures that had, sunlight aversions were trying to find passageways moving from section to section within Angmar's empire where they weren't exposed to sunlight, or if it was some of the evil men, perhaps like Easterlings or something like that, kind of coming over and aiding. But it's hard to say specifically who would have built it, but likely it has that age. So you're thinking like maybe 1,000 to 1,500 years old.
And would I be able to tell if they're somewhat used? Even like, does it look like no one's been here for a long time, like that 1,000 years, or do the orcs still know about it?
Yeah, so this one I think is probably more of an like if you're just looking for any signs of has there been recent activity down here, awareness is probably a good one to roll for that. Okay, got a Gandalf. Okay. You do actually see signs of tracks moving through here. It's although there's masonry down here, it's kind of it's broken at times, and you can see the earth coming up here and there, and you can tell that there has been traffic. From what you learn from Thorvim and Thebe, you do know that one of the things that has been occupying some of the time of the regular kind of orcish foot soldiers has been scouring some of these ruins for, loot, artifacts, anything useful. So it's likely at some point some of those groups might have swept through here looking for anything of value.
But it doesn't look like it's consistently used. It has been used before, but it's not like a daily thing.
It doesn't look like anything's been here today. But it looks like something has been here within the past, say, week.
Okay. Then I would just like to spend my time getting to know these tunnels as well as possible, and trying to make my way to the shrine. Try to find like the most direct route to the shrine.
Yeah, I think that's explore. That'll be an explore roll probably.
I might use the audience die on this one if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
Nice. Great success.
Yay.
All right, so you do find, I mean, it takes you a while, so this is probably several hours worth of exploration, and more than once you do actually hear the sounds of activity below, but you're able to hear it in enough time to avoid it. And rolling over the stealth, you find a way to kind of keep out of sight, and as long as you're not intentionally trying to engage them, it looks like you're able to kind of keep out of sight. But yeah, you see little groups of a couple orcs here and there, and some scrawny looking ones, others that look a little bit more kind of beefy as they're moving about. A lot of them are hauling about goods and items. You can see they're breaking things. You do find a path that eventually, kind of using your general sense, it starts to wind its way northward. It's a little circuitous here and there, and you have to take some switchbacks. You move between a masoned area through like more of a rocky hole out. And eventually you come to kind of a more refined sort of tomb area. And you can tell that there are like these old kind of sarcophagi built into the wall here and there that seem to have already been ransacked. There's two things you notice. You notice that there's, at the end of this kind of long passageway that basically stops going northward any further, you see like a sort of a large kind of crack open in the ceiling above you. And there's like this sort of jagged rock cave-in, and as you peek your head up, you realize it's the base of the shrine. Like, this is probably the most direct access point you have. The second thing you notice is that nearby there's a small little kind of camp set up, and you can see that there's this little like nook and kind of cranny area built into the wall where it looks like somebody has been stockpiling some of their treasures. And yeah, you just see like a small little spill out of all these little goods, like things that have probably been looted from who knows what down here, or who knows what in these ruins. So you can tell someone's been here, but
no one's there now.
No one's currently there now, but you can tell that someone seems to stay here. It looks like a small little like camping area.
Okay. Small camp, so it looks like it'd be like 1 to 3 people at most.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'd like to kind of poke my head up to just check out the shrine without like actually going out into the daylight.
Yeah, you poke your head up and you look around, and since it's past dusk, you don't see a whole lot of activity around here, but you do hear the sounds of like orcish voices shouting around here and there. But like before, you notice that it's kind of like it's multi-tiered. So like you're at sort of the base. So there's like the ground level, and that's where your head's kind of peeking up at what looks like the crumbling base of like the first level of the shrine, which is kind of a wide, like square rectangle, and you're kind of on the southern side, it looks like. And then as you kind of peek around and maybe even skirt out just a couple feet just to kind of get a look, you see that nestled in the middle of that base is like that extra level atop which Rotag is at. It's fairly, there's nothing really around it. It's kind of an empty space. There's no real trees or other rocks that are kind of growing nearby. You can even peek out and see the ridge where you and Iriniel were spying on this from yesterday. So there's a lot of empty space here. Not a whole lot of places where people were like for orcs to hide, essentially.
I want to just take as many mental notes as possible. Maybe use my little piece of charcoal to like draw a little picture on the back of my hand or something like that, just so I can help Irenial get as accurate a description of this place as possible.
Sure.
And then I think I'll start heading back.
Okay. And you don't got to roll to come back. Like you just work your way back, especially since you've been marking here and there. It's easy enough. You're able to, again, you hear movement from time to time. Most of it you think is probably orcs kind of shouting out to one another and things crashing. Occasionally you hear like there's these strange other sounds kind of wafting through, like weird whispers that kind of just like haunt through some of the shadows, but you avoid them. Like, you do your best to avoid them.
Like
eventually,
orcish whispers, or like...
No, it's weird because you come up to these sort of creases here and there in some of these tombs.
I don't like creases.
Just in the darkness beyond, like into a place you haven't really looked and scouted because there doesn't seem to be direct access. It's like a voice sort of calls out to you, this sort of strange, ethereal voice, but unless you specifically want to look for a way in, like, you don't seem to have any...
It's calling out to me by name?
No, you just hear it as you get close, as you walk by, especially whenever you linger in the shadows to kind of hide from some of the groups of orcs that are moving about.
Then mental note to keep a sharp eye on Floy as we move through this area and continue to head back.
Okay. All right. So back at the cave, what have Floy and Iriniel been doing with your Risk board game?
I mean, it's a to scale replica of the shrine and the tiers, and somebody's bringing in food, and you've got the his little I'm blanking on the word. There's the lieutenants, and then his little herald there, and who's going to be there and where everybody's at. And so we're starting kind of the battle discussion that will continue once Erebon comes back with his information.
Okay. I mean, he's going to be gone for a while, so the three of you are welcome to do something else during the day.
Yeah, I was gonna go out and just maybe take a vantage point and see how the war party moves, what they do throughout the day.
Okay. Is there something you want to roll for this? Is there...
Maybe it's like either awareness or scan. Just take out like four of them and we'll just keep
awareness probably makes more sense than scan in this case. Okay. Is there some kind of information you're hoping to learn, or do you just want like a generic piece of useful info?
Just generic, just how they operate.
Did you get a
Oh yeah, I forgot to
bonus dice
add
from
NPC.
Thorvald?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an extra D6, I guess. All right.
So 7.
So it's a total of what, 12?
12. I'll still fail.
Still fail,
What-
yeah. DC of
Yeah.
14. Target number 14, I should say. Yeah, you and Thorvum, you move up the ridge. You kind of go a little bit further up from where you all were camped out. Maybe even start heading in the direction of where the trolls are kept in that cave. And you try to get a good vantage point where you can, as best you can, get a full view of the camp. The problem is just that there's this lingering mist that just kind of overtakes the whole area, and you can never quite get a full view. And today, sadly, was a particularly heavy mist. And while you can see little bits of fires here and there, and you can hear shouts from time to time, and sometimes the mist parts enough for you to see little bits and pieces, you're never quite able to kind of get this exhaustive view of everything at once. And so ultimately, you don't really learn anything new. You're able to probably confirm a few things that others have seen, but you're not really able to kind of glean any new information. Is there anything
Bit
else
of
you
bad
wanted to
weather
try
we're
to
having.
do? What's that?
I was just saying it's a bit of bad weather we're having.
Yeah, I mean, bad weather and it's okay. It'll be all right. The rest of them, well, we feel better than we were 2 days ago. I'll tell you that. So
I don't remember what voice I was using for Thorvum. Completely
He's
forget
both
it.
flavored.
I don't think
Been
I
a
was
while.
doing. I don't think I was doing Southern Dwarf. I don't think I was doing.
No, I don't think so.
okay, mate.
I don't know. I don't remember. That's a shame. Okay, so Gilly, what would you be doing while we're waiting for Erebon to return? As we know, Auriniel's setting up her camp map.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Gilly?
So they had mentioned that night that we're trying to figure out a way to like prevent people from being able to quickly interrupt us. So Gilly wants to take Maribum out and maybe get stuff to make these little satchels that can be easily caught on fire that we could potentially shoot into the camp.
I like that. That's really clever.
To like light
nice.
stuff on fire.
Yeah, that's really clever. We could do something like hunting to try to find something. We could do craft to try to like discover the right kind of, foliage that would burn well or something like that. Or unless if there's something else you have in mind. But
I
those
was
two are the
wondering if I
first.
could do like a lore roll, like I've read in a book, like this particular plant is flammable, or
Yeah, I think yeah, that's fine. Like the way you framed it, I think that's fair. Yeah.
cool. So I get 2 from the pearl, and I get 1 from Maribem because she's vigilant and like she knows like the mountains relatively well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Great success.
Okay. You are rolling
Wow.
really well on this non-combat stuff. I feel
Nice
really
job.
nervous for you guys. I feel
I like-
really, really, really nervous.
Me
when-
too.
I really do. But yeah, you are able to collect, we'll say, with a great success, they're going to burn particularly well. It's like these little kind of makeshift Molotov that you're kind of create.
Like
sachets.
sachets, yeah.
Yeah.
And
with
like
a
we
great
took the
success,
time
we'll
to
say
like
they're more
attach them
effective.
to like some arrows so they're just ready to go.
Do we
Or
want
not
do,
yet?
Do you want to do arrows or do you want to make them more like grenades? and
Oh,
things?
that makes more sense. More like
Yeah.
grenades,
I
kind
think
of.
it's
Yeah.
more like satchels that you're just sort of throwing.
Yeah.
And not sure if the air speed velocity
Would wreck
of
that.
something
Yeah.
hanging out everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional archer or anything, but comment in chat if you are. Okay, so with that in mind, since everyone seems to like Auriniel, you've been setting up your camp, but you're waiting for like everyone to come back before you make any kind of roll here. All right. We'll say sometime in the afternoon, everyone returns from their various tasks, fills you in on the information, the additional information they've collected on the camp. Auriniel, you can go ahead and make a battle roll, and you're looking to glean what you want to try to. Is there like information you want here specifically?
I am basically trying to, kind of given the terrain, given where we're going to be coming in from where kind of the tunnel entrances are. So trying to do something that I would be really horrible at, but like this person should go here and this person should go here and this will give us an advantage over here, and
Yeah.
kind of laying out the kind of battlefield to our advantage.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and roll that battle.
I'm trying to think if any of my distinctive features would come into play. Would
I don't
bold
know.
come into play at all?
Don't you get a
hanging
bonus
out
from
in
your
a
helmet?
cave all day that sounds pretty bold. You know, a lot of fungus in here. You know? Your helmet, yeah, Argolip's helm.
I think
give
that's
you a
mold you're
bonus.
thinking of.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'll get my 2.
Yeah. Don't forget your home.
That's
Yeah,
right.
mold, that's right.
That will give me the 2, and it's already
Probably some
favored.
shrooms and stuff. Maybe I don't know.
All right, fingers
Not a
crossed.
professional geologist. Okay, great success.
yay.
Okay, so great success. So I'll say I'll give you two particularly good pieces of information. Probably between Gilly and Marimbim's scouting of the cave, that kind of feral cave troll area, and the acquisition of this new kind of grenade sort of attempt that you're going to try to use. You were able to find that there was kind of a hole that you could potentially drop some things down into that little cave pen where they're keeping their feral trolls. And so if you were to task somebody with going over there and kind of dropping their, some of those grenades in, that might delay any kind of reinforcements from the cave area or from the troll area. So that might kind of slow down, the troll driver and any of the cave trolls from kind of coming to reinforce should Rotag call for it.
Okay.
So that's one bit of information you got. And then secondly, especially again with this sort of new strategy of having these incendiary things you can light on fire, the war keeper, they're in a copse of trees, and it's probably, it's not the same sort of vegetation that you were able to collect with Marimbem, Gilly, but trees burn, and so that would certainly, trying to set some of those on fire could delay some of the ward keeper in the works kind of returning, and they're the fastest moving too. So it's possible then that if you task someone with going over there around the time that you launch your attack on Rotag, that certainly distracts and delays 2 of the major potential reinforcements with Rotag.
So I share all of that information with the group. I'm very proud of the work I've put into this.
I'm proud of you too. Nice job. That's an excellent drawing.
It looks fantastic too. Like she's been carving rocks and whittling and stuff all day. It's got
The
That
joke in
arrow
chat
is
is that-
perfectly symmetrical. I don't know how you drew that.
Yeah.
Jeff, the joke in chat is that we've been playing D&D while they're gone using your unpainted miniatures.
Oh, well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot.
There are a lot.
There are probably more unpainted minis than there are orcs and enemies in this camp. And there are hundreds of orcs and enemies in this camp. There's a lot. It makes me sad. Now I'm sad for the rest of the night. Thanks, chat. Now I feel sad.
No.
I share your pain, Jeff.
Okay,
Uh,
so we hand wave the fact that I gave really good battle tactician instructions to everybody on what
Absolutely.
we're doing.
I haven't
No,
seen
it's
such
fine.
a plan like this before. Usually you just run at each other until one side dies.
There's a benefit to ambush and the sneaking.
Okay, so you guys have a couple hours left before dusk. Were you going to try to launch this attack tonight?
I don't think
I say so,
some of us
yeah.
are fully healed yet. Is that a thing?
I'm fully healed.
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. Because I was just 2 days, so we had that rest yesterday.
Do you have one more
Or-
day, Fly?
Same.
No, I'm healed.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just checking. Make sure everyone's good to go.
Just
We're
the
good.
longer you wait, the greater the chance that they might discover a path
Yeah.
or this or that. So there's always danger the longer you wait. But doesn't mean you can't wait if you wanted to wait.
Yeah, if
Tonight it
everyone's
is.
full and ready to go. Might as well launch it.
Okay.
So what do we want to send our friends on missions for? Do we want to send some to burn down the woods for the wargs? And if so, who?
Yeah.
I would say Mirambem should definitely do anything that involves trolls.
Sure.
So I would say sending her to the cave trolls would make sense. She's been there once. She knows the path there.
Hmm. Okay.
Do we have enough of those fire bombs to send with multiple NPCs, or just
She
one?
got they got a great success, so we'll say
Uh-huh.
that there's enough for 2 different applications of them.
So then we could send Thorbum and Devi with the other half to stop the wargs.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Dwarves are natural sprinters, so can probably
They are natural
outpace the
sprinters.
wargs sometimes.
And arguably that's more important because the wars will get to us faster, so sending 2 would be a better idea for that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Assuming that they are on board with our recommendation.
Oh yeah. Marimbem will kind of look at you like when you say that she gets to go and set a cave filled with cave trolls on fire. She looks at you all with sort of like,
Well, you get to take out the special one, quality, but I get to take out multiple quantity.
she seems satisfied. Whereas like Thorvum, who's eating something right now, so he doesn't quite sound himself. So he's going, yeah, whatever you want. As he kind of chews on something. And they will try as best they can to out-sprint the wargs and potentially try to reinforce should the time run out. It does leave basically, the regular foot soldiers, that kind of shield bearer, to potentially reinforce. But you, as Erebon knows, like you have a couple minutes of time. So
we might want to consider also like a regroup point not at the shrine, because if they go and they set fire for the wargs, they may not want to go directly to the shrine because we might have messed things up and be leaving. Do we want to meet back here at the cave, or would we want everyone to regroup at the shrine just to try and concentrate our efforts?
Yeah, they should come to the shrine if they're done with their task to see if they can back us up if possible. And if we're not there, we can always
Yeah,
go
we
to the
may
rendezvous
need
point.
their assistance to clear an exit path.
But if we're not there, then they're going to be running into a place infested with orcs.
Well, if
I
they
mean, I think they can, along the way, they can see if it's like swarmed or not.
Okay, just throwing it out there.
I don't
Perennial had a master battle plan. I can't argue with her.
We hand waved just how brilliant and tactical it was. But I mean, maybe we could have like a tunnel rendezvous point where, like, I imagine if they're loud battle sounds are going to carry, so they're going to know if
I don't
there's a
know if I
hole.
found any other exits and entrances other than just the shrine and the one in the cave, the one that we're taking.
Not
no,
that
you
we
didn't really
explored.
explore too much.
The most that is there should be paths like northeast, south, and west, just because of the shrine. But we don't know if they're all clear or watched or what have you.
Okay, so everyone goes and does their tasks, hopefully simultaneously,
Mhm.
and then we regroup at the shrine. And if the shrine is a mess, then we regroup at the tunnel exit that we'll be taking. That sound good?
And you could try to time it up probably with it's dusk, so
Right.
so you could try to use that. I've worked it out. So we have our own little kind of house rule mechanism for tasking these. I'm giving the dwarves 3d6. I'm gonna give Thebe 2 bonus die because I think Swift would probably be really useful here, but Thorvald
Yeah.
will give you the 1 bonus. And then I'll give plus 1d6 for the bombs. So they'll roll a feat die plus 4d6 to see if they're successful at their task.
Nice.
Whereas
job, Gilly.
Whereas Marimbem, I'm gonna give her plus 2d6 because she's vigilant, hardened, and it's trolls, and 1d6 for the bombs. So she's got 3d6 to roll.
Nice.
So, and I'm gonna put it like in the middle at like a target number of 14 is what they're trying to hit. Because you're not asking them to actually kill them. It's just distraction and slowing down.
Yeah.
Had you tried
Yeah.
to say make sure you take them out, then that would kick that up a difficulty. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Yeah,
Perfect.
no, I like that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So the thing is, this is all happening at once, so you're not necessarily going to know whether or not they were successful, since you guys are going to do your thing.
Yeah. If we see fires, then we know, at least on the tree perspective, that's something that should build and be visible. But
Yeah.
Okay.
With the trolls, we won't really know because smoke
Yeah.
and mist.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
I
everyone,
also sorry.
Okay.
I also would have been sure to inform the party of the possible person underneath the shrine, and then also possible wraiths and spirits that might try to tempt us along the way, plus possible orcs in the tunnels. Like, it's not going to be necessarily 100% safe to get there. Just so
Okay.
everyone's aware and cautious.
I
Sure.
think we have gathered as much information about our enemy as we possibly can to try to help us be successful.
So
Yes.
before we start, do we want Gilly to go into the tunnel as well?
Not enough time anymore.
Or
Not enough time anymore.
what?
You guys have spent the whole day planning, and you went and did some stuff.
No,
If
I
you're gonna
mean-
try to get this done before
This
like,
is
'cause
just Ashley speaking, well, not like Gilly. Like, should I actually be in the tunnels with you guys, like going in, or do you want me like above shooting down?
I want you in the tunnel where you can get an easy escape.
Yeah, I think we're all going in the tunnel
Okay.
as our
yeah, I don't understand the shooting down thing.
as our way in.
You said
Like,
there were multiple
outside
layers of the shrine.
Right,
Yeah.
but it goes up, so like she'd be shooting up. If she's staying in the tunnel, she's
Gotcha.
shooting up. So like,
She
was
sorry, I
saying
presumed
not
it
to
was
stay
close
in
to,
the
like a
tunnel.
mountain or
Like-
something.
Yeah, she was saying we would go in the tunnel and she by herself would be going in the other way so that she can shoot from the top. But that
Okay.
sounds dangerous if I understood you correctly, Ashley.
all right. So at long last, let's do this. So
We're going.
I'm very excited. I'm gonna be very sad.
Wait,
if we
one
just-
more thing, Jeff. before- I'm sorry. I
And
couldn't
then
resist.
Sauron appears. And
It's a
Oh,
mist
whoa, hey,
clears.
it's Sauron. That sucks.
What's this giant eye doing
how
here?
did we not see him? Our scouting sucks. Okay. So you guys all break off. You leave the cave. Everyone kind of goes off. You have a moment. Everyone kind of wishes each other good luck, etc. The dwarves
Go team on 3.
kind of huddle up for a moment. They wish you well, Floy. Like,
We'll see you on the other side, brother.
and like Thebe kind of comes up, and like you guys do like a 3 dwarf like huddle, like ugh, and then they sprint off down the foothills towards sort of the southwestern copse of trees where they're headed. Marimbam takes a moment with Iriniel. She gonna just
Good luck came true. No mercy.
and
Hope to see you on the other side of this.
Hope. What an interesting word.
and then she just kind of runs off.
Mhm.
So you, Erebon, you're able to lead them over towards the tunnels. Your entrance to the tunnel. Let's do stealth rolls, as you want to try to move through here quietly, carefully. And if somebody fails, as long as somebody else has an extra success, they can kind of lend it to them as well. Automatic success
Gandalf.
for... Yeah, it's a Gandalf. That's a good omen. Let's see.
Great success.
I'm not so good at this.
Oh no.
Yeah, stealth is. not-
I do have an extra
Very
success I can give her.
Yep. Yes, you do. You're able to kind of help, and so does, and we have an extra one from Gilly as well. So, yeah, you got both Gilly and Erebon notice Iriniel's being a little heavy-footed with some of her steps. Even the dwarf is being very careful with his sturdiness and his steps. Knows the seriousness of the situation, but Iriniel may be kind of lingering here and there. So as you kind of climb down, these tunnels are extraordinarily dark, because there's no light down here whatsoever except what you bring. You also know that if you light up a lantern or a torch, that it's a beacon in the darkness as well. So you're very careful with your movements. As you're kind of traversing these tunnels, you're using your light to just sort of very carefully find the scratches on the walls that Erebon made as he was setting a path. You do come across one of those kind of creases in the wall, and you do once more, Erebon, and this is now everybody else, you do hear this. Maybe it's because its darkness is more intense, maybe it's because it's night, but just like that sort of large vertical gray tree where Floyd nearly kind of got pulled off into, it's sort of that same thing tends to happen. And except it's to all of you, just feel this sort of pull on all of you. Everyone go ahead. Roll a valor test.
Uh-oh.
As it's not just these whispers that come out, but all of you begin to kind of cough a bit as almost of like these fumes begin to sort of waft out between this sort of seam in the wall, as if it's been boarded up to protect some kind of tomb in the back.
I fail.
Failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great success.
Did anybody? So how'd you do, Erebon?
Not good.
Okay, so only Gilly maybe because you have the light, you're towards the front a little bit, and you just kind of keep moving, and after a moment you start hearing coughing behind you, and you turn back and you can see both, all Floy, Aurenial, Erebon, they're all on their hands and their knees, and you can smell this foul, like fetid odor in the air. You can see as you hold the lantern up towards where they're on their hands and knees, you can see these little specks of dirt or dust or something that's kind of wafting about around them as if they're almost suffocating. Each one of you go ahead and roll roll 2 feet die. So not you, Gilly, you're fine.
Okay.
You just want us to roll d12s, or how do we roll?
Yeah,
them
roll
specifically?
2 d12s and take the lower. Take the lower as endurance damage as you begin to
1.
sort of suffocate.
Yay for rolling a 1.
Okay. Again, take the lower of the 2. So 1 for Aurenial. Floy, how'd you do?
Oh, we both roll as companies, so I don't know if I rolled the 1 or Renio rolled the 1.
Oh.
I rolled the 1 because I had gone first, and it was the light colored
Oh.
dice.
Okay.
Okay, cheater.
No, I see how it is. Just take the 1 dirt stuff.
We know how Melissa is.
That's
Renil's
fine.
able
That's
to.
it.
Maybe Renil was right behind Gilly, and she kind of gets out of this eruption of this like kind of foul dust that's coming from some strange tomb behind here. But Floy and Erebon kind of linger behind. I mean, Aurenial and Gilly are able to eventually kind of pull them from that little pattern there. But whatever was back there was sort of sending this fumes there. You're able to pull them out of the shadow, but like when you get them through there, their faces are sort of kind of beet red, almost purple, as it looks like they've been suffocating for the past few moments. And you can see, like with Floy especially, like his beard is just sort of covered with this rancid, strange dust. You're not sure if it's like old flesh from like some of the bodies that might have been buried here or not, but it's kind of covering his eyebrows and his beard and his hair here and there, and you're able to quickly dust it all off. But as you were pulling them through, you kind of peek over Gilly with the light, and you can see this just something moves, and it kind of almost like it's trying to reach out from behind this section towards you, and it quickly pulls its hand back as the lantern like kind of shoots light right down the seam, and you're able to bypass this entirely at that point.
Erebon took 8 points of endurance loss.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was so worried about Floy having another one of his like visions or something that I didn't even think like I should get out of the way, and I just got caught right in the middle of it.
Oh God.
You get past, you catch your breath, you continue moving around. And again, because you've been here before, because you've marked everything, this is fairly easy movement. Your stealths are fine. Occasionally you hear the sounds of a distant orc or something shouting, but you're able to bypass it. Eventually though, you kind of start to reach the final masoned area where you know this leads towards the shrine. And you're kind of almost towards that small camp where you know someone was like tucking away these treasures, and someone is potentially camping here. Who would we say is leading the way? Would it be Erebon, since you know which way to go, or would somebody else kind of be taking point?
That was my assumption, but
Yeah, I think I would probably try to guide.
Yeah. Roll an awareness test, and you could do this favored since you've been here before.
It already is favored, so
Well, there you go.
oh,
didn't matter.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's a shame. Gilly, you're up there too, so you can do it as well, but you don't get it at favored. So because you have the lantern light, you're kind of up there as well. I'll let you roll as well. But since Floy and Reniel are kind of coming up in the rear, watching in the backside, we'll say no to them.
No.
Oh, no.
This is where it turns, guys.
You almost had it, and then it rolled to the one.
Yeah, I know. I watched it.
So what you don't notice is that there are two creatures down here that are essentially like laying down. And as you nearly stumble over top of them, and as you do in the darkness, maybe you held the lantern in the wrong direction, you just kind of stumble over top of a couple of them, and you look around, and there's these two orcs that looks like they were in the middle of taking a nap as they suddenly like scramble up into their up to fight, and looks like they're about ready to either fight you or flee or run. But you see one of those same scrawny orcs that were on the ridgeline when you were saving Thorvin and Thievi. But you also see Erebon, what looks like one of those taller, kind of bulkier attendants that Rotag had as well. And we're gonna get into combat. And since quick combat.
I see an orc on the ground. I stab it with my spear. That's my go-to move.
That's fair. But because you guys, I was gonna get you guys if one of you would have passed the awareness test, you would have had an ambush. But you unfortunately failed.
No.
I'm gonna blame Gilly on that one because I specifically said like we need to watch out for this camp, but she held that lantern the wrong way. I couldn't see. She like blinded me, so it's definitely the Hobbit's fault.
Wow.
As the
Throwing
lantern's at like
another-
foot level. Like
Literally cannot cast a shadow on my eyes.
So you guys literally stumble on top of these two sleeping orcs off to the north of where Floy is standing. Floy, you look off to the north and you can see like glinting in the lantern light. You see like there's like this little alcove of treasure back there. Like it's the thing that I was talking about with Erebon, where they just seem to be keeping a few things back there. It looks a treasure hunter eye. Pretty interesting. All right, no opening.
I definitely
volleys.
did not mention the treasure as well. I would have mentioned the camp,
You
but
did?
I would
Okay.
not have mentioned the treasure.
No opening volley, no ambush. We're going straight into close combat because you literally stumble on top of them as they're sleeping. So we're gonna skip that entirely. We're gonna go
Ramp.
right. All right, everyone, go ahead and set. You do outnumber them. There's only two of them here, so go ahead and set your stances. I thought
I
you guys would
pull out my
bypass this
spear
one.
with a high-pitched squeal.
Oh my God, Rotag hears you above. He jumps down.
No.
Okay.
Another high-pitched squeal.
All right. So it looks like Auriniel and Floy are in forward. Erebon is in defensive. Gilly is going to be in ranged. And then we've got the two orcs themselves. Okay, so let's give it a go. We'll say, Auriniel or Floy, in whatever order you want, can go. And we can engage, actually we got to do our engagements first. So Floy and Auriniel, who would you want to engage with?
The larger general.
Okay, so Floy is going to target, so that's the one to the south, which means Auriniel, you would probably have to target then the orc soldiers to the east.
Okay.
And then Erebon, you have your choice between the two of them. Which one of those would you...
Does it matter
you
if I'm
take
planning
on?
to do a battle task?
Yeah, I mean, the engagement stage is still like technically the second. We
Sure.
gloss over it a lot because it goes pretty
Okay.
fast for us. But
I would target the one that I'm right next to, the smaller guy.
okay, so then it means Floy will be one-on-one on the larger one, and Auriniel and Erebon will technically be engaged with the smaller one. Gilly being you're in rare words, so you don't have to worry about it too much. All right, Auriniel, it's
Yeah.
your turn.
Okay, I'm going to give this a shot. So the forward combat task of intimidate foe. Let's see if this works.
You have to roll the test. You wasted all your good rolls, guys.
That
of
was
them.
bad.
That's Jeff's just like, okay, guys, let's have an hour where you guys
Go
do
ahead.
whatever you want.
Take your time with this planning thing. Go ahead. Roll all the dice you want. Watch what happens. An ISL and a 1 on that
Yeah, that was
roll.
an awful roll.
You get ready to shout something, but as you do, like Floy and this orc standing next to you, they just sort of bump past you, and like as like whatever speech or shout you're attempting to do kind of falls on deaf ears as you stumble about. Floy, what would you like to do?
Let's pull out my axe. Gotta make this quick.
Okay. Okay. We'll say Floy
Swing it
steps
down
up.
Oh. Got a heavy blow, great success.
Okay.
14 damage.
14.
Boy, who was rolling poorly
Wow.
before is now rolling.
Yes.
All right.
My time to shine.
14 points.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually really good. It's still up. As you come up, you hack viciously into it as it's still kind of stumbling as was trying to get to you, but Aurinial being in the way of the two of you seemed to have actually helped you a little bit in this case. As it wasn't quite ready, as it also has this like big old cleaver, as it really was locking eyes with you, and you hear it just yell. But 14 points of damage is quite good. All right, Erebon comes to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use my spear. I forgot to target. That would help.
Oh my.
Gandalf.
Can't handle.
Okay. I need a
The
roll
rest
a
of the dice set.
protection test. I will burn a hate to roll a bonus die on my protection roll. To get it, yeah. So I'm gonna get a bonus die in this as I'm gonna burn a hate with this guy. Here we go. I am protected. I do not die outright, but I will take that 5 points of damage as you try to skewer it before it's even able to sort of get its footing, but is able at the last second to take its scimitar and just kind of sweep the blade, the blade, like the head of your spear just ever so slightly to the side so it doesn't kill it right off the bat.
So I'm like walking and I just accidentally like kick it in the head or something and just instinctively and just slam my spear down, not knowing if I was hitting a rat or an orc or what.
Gilly, your turn. Assuming you'll probably take a couple steps back or so to not be right in the line of sight of these two.
Yes.
What would you like to do?
She's gonna shoot at the orc that looks like the smaller one that Erebon was attacking.
Erebon nearly killed. Yeah, he looks really bad.
Just so he doesn't try and like run away. Like that's
Sure.
her fear.
Sure.
That's a failure.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
So close too.
Just
Gilly's
such a
like
shame. All
holding
those
her
sixes.
lantern still, and so she like goes to set it down, gets her arrow and stuff out, but she can't really see very well anymore, so it goes.
All right, they're gonna be up next. The first one is the big guy who only has eyes for Floy. Let's see. I'm gonna tap into my hatred for dwarfs to roll this attack at favored.
Oh boy.
And I will also burn a hate to get a bonus die on this attack.
A whole lot of hating going on.
So, and he is also in forward stance, and I shall roll. That will be
So
a
many dice.
great success.
Wow.
My feat die was a 9, and I'm using the axe, which doesn't. Okay, so I'm just gonna do heavy blow, so I'll add more damage. 9 points of damage to Floy. All right, then the next one will go, which is the smaller of the two, who is locked and engaged with Erebon. Nearly was one shot and skewered, but will instead does not have hatred towards you, he also has dwarves, but he's unfortunately unable to get to Floy as you are in his way. I will burn a hate, however, to get a bonus die, and I will swing back at you with this scimitar. Because you're defensive, I already have a penalty, but my bonus die will cancel it out. So I got... All right, here it comes. That's a 1 on the feat die, and that's a miss as you're able, he swings at you with the scimitar, and you just were able to quickly bring the spear up to kind of block the swing. And we go into the next round.
And we got an audience
stances.
die.
Okay, there you go.
Yay.
Melissa usually keeps those. Okay, we're back into the top of the round. Stance changes, anybody?
Staying
No.
with defensive, as always.
Offensive. Nice. Floy and Aurelial staying in assault.
Forward,
Or staying
yeah.
forward.
Forward. Yep.
Okay. And Gilly, you are
I'm-
presumably staying in rear.
No,
You're gonna
I'm
move.
gonna go
Ooh.
open.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do the combat task.
All right. Sounds good. Aurelial and Floy are gonna go first, so one of you can go.
All right. Screw this talking stuff. I'm just going to try to hit this guy with my sword.
Okay. Can't wait till she misses this too.
You.
Oh.
hush.
Oh no, don't worry. She'll find a way to cheat.
All right. I will take one of those
Yeah.
dice.
To all to Twitch, thank
Yay.
you. Thank you for that complication. Clearly those bits are for me to complicate things. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that, to all to Twitch? You want me to drop the boss down on him right now? Oh, well, I'm a slave to the audience, so let's do it.
So how close was this? The smaller
Your
one
attack-
that I'm on.
You're attacking the one that Erebon. That's
Yes.
the one you targeted, right? All right.
Yes.
So you kind of shift around behind Erebon and you hack down at it.
And-
It took a pretty good wound from Erebon. Yeah, you can see it's already it's got a big old wound. Erebon's spear is kind of coated in blood from where he stabbed him. A really good blow could probably kill him.
Because I can add 7, or I can do piercing.
It's up to you. I will say, just looking at him, you can tell that a pretty good heavy blow would probably kill him.
All right, that's what I'll do.
10
10
points of damage
Nice
will be
job.
enough. What does it look like as you hack your way through this soldier?
So she, just so mad because she was going to be all intimidating and whatnot, and that just didn't work. And so she, kind of has to push Erebon out of the way a little bit. But she just kind of comes around, and it's just kind of straight through the gut, just all the way up to the hilt of the sword.
Okay. Okay. So then, Floy, it is your turn next. You've exchanged
nap timing
blows.
over.
Yeah.
Back to bed you go as I swing my axe
Okay.
for a clean 7 damage.
Clean 7 damage. Nothing special, but a straight up 7 damage. No problem. He is still up, however. He is still up.
Got a healthy pool of dice here. Don't forget about.
Okay. Yeah, burn those dice. Gilly, it is your turn. There's only one target to engage. As you're in open, you have to essentially, you're locked in with this guy. There's only one target left, but you're doing that combat task. So go ahead.
Yeah.
You're not locked
Um,
into that. So if you decided you want to change, you're welcome to do that. Like, you don't have to do that just because you said it before. But it's now
Yeah.
your turn, so now you make the decision.
I think what I would like to do is I would like to use my rope and hook to try and trip this guy up to prevent him from being able to run away. So maybe try and trip him or
Okay. I think this is gonna be a roll, I think. I'm open to negotiation on what skill you want to use. I would
I was
say
thinking what?
I was thinking hunting, or athletics maybe.
I was thinking
what were you thinking?
athletics or stealth. Maybe he's not paying attention to me. And I'm kind of below him, but probably more athletics.
I think athletics makes more sense. Let's do athletics. Yeah, roll an athletics test, and we'll say if you're able to do this, what this means is this will knock him down, and we'll say this is the equivalent of him having to spend his turn recovering his position, which means he won't be able to run away, and he won't be able to attack either. So that's
Okay.
what we'll say this is.
Since I'm using my rope and hook, I get an extra dice for that.
Yep, that's fine.
Cool.
Well, I mean, technically it's for a specific role. What is the rope and hook? I think is specifically for
Athletics.
It is for athletics, and yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I like the creative application.
Yeah, nice use.
But I
Oh,
like that
no.
Sauron even better.
Oh no.
No, not
As
again.
you try to hide behind Floyd and like step out just at the last second and like launch the rope, but just like he's jumping rope, he just hops right over top of it and lands back down.
Oh, man.
It does turn to Erebon next. Erebon, you're freely able to target this other guy. Since you're in close proximity, it's not a problem.
Yeah, so I finally realized that we're fighting orcs now. And I pull my spear up, and Erennial kind of shoves me out of the way a little bit. So I'm going to swing my spear head away from her to try and, make sure I don't accidentally slice her. And as I'm turning around, I see the one behind us because, like, oh shit, there are two of them. And I'll just stab my spear out.
I like how Steven's like, I'm going to kill all these things, but I'm going to do it accidentally. I'm never going to do it intentionally. I'm going to also say at this point, this guy is completely overwhelmed, and I was going to give you an extra d6 as an advantage. So you
It's
can roll.
not even going to matter.
Don't think it'll
won't help.
matter.
With a 1 on the feet die, a 2 on the 1 on your other is
Yeah,
an extra
yeah,
5.
yeah.
Still, the 5 still in dead. But I'll say from now on, anybody, who does anything is going to get an extra die. It is his turn. He wasn't knocked down, so he will go. He has eyes for Floy still.
You might kill me, but I will kill this dwarf first.
And then he just does that large, like, orcish belch at everybody, and you just like, oh, terrible, as like little bits of food and saliva come flying out in all your directions. So he's going to target Floy. I will burn another hate to do the exact same roll setup as last time. So that will be hate. So hatred for dwarves gives me this at favored. Extra bonus die for the expenditure of hate. Here we go. That is another success on Floyd. This time it is an extraordinary success. My feat die is a 10. I am just going to wear you all down with endurance. 15 points of damage, Floy, and you have to roll a protection roll against 18, which you succeed at. You always do it so quickly. Like, you could always add other things. You are protected, but you do take 15 points of damage as he takes this heavy...
Do remember, you can take knockback to
Knockback.
reduce the endurance loss.
This would be a great time to do that.
That would be a
That
good time.
really
I
would.
will I'll do knockback, so I'm knockback.
So this means on your next turn, you won't be able to attack. You
Yeah, that's
literally have to spend your turn recovering your position. As you're pushed back, you take 7 points of damage instead, as opposed to 15.
I love that he got a great success on the protection roll and still got a 0 on the feat die.
All right, next round. One left. Everybody's obviously targeting the same one. You guys have him surrounded. Everyone will get a bonus die to your attack as you have pinned him up against this corner. There's nowhere for him to run. He could shout maybe, but there's nowhere for him to run. Auriniel and Floy, are you still in forward stance?
Yeah.
Okay. Auriniel, you're up.
All right. Let's do this. I am going to take a audience.
Oh, man, I'm
D6.
getting these die out before the boss fight. It's great. Okay. How much damage?
Success. 3 damage.
Only 3 points of damage. Well, here's the thing, Melissa. Not even gonna lie. Had 3 endurance left. Swear to you. Not even lying.
So this is going to be like a big kind of just wind up and swing. So she's going to kind of go like backhand a little bit, kind of off to the left side, and just sort of do a swing, just kind of up and kind of just across the throat.
As you do so, you kind of cut it across the throat. You don't quite get all of it. It falls to the ground as it looks like it's defeated, but then like a second surge of energy comes through. And you see that the skin of this creature is hideously tough. So I'm tapping into my hideous toughness. When an attack inflicts damage to this creature that would cause it to go to 0 endurance, which is exactly what you did, it instead causes a piercing blow. Then, if the creature is still alive, it returns to full endurance. And I totally forgot I should be making 2 attacks with this guy. You guys got lucky on the first couple of rounds, as that reduces. Basically, that wound will reduce him from 2 might Down to 1 might. All right.
And you said he's at full endurance again?
And he is again at full endurance, but a wound would kill him. Floy, you recover on this round. Erebon, your turn.
Okay, so now that I know he's actually there and I see, people are swinging at him, I'm gonna actually try this time. I'm gonna really like dig in deep with the spear. Will not use an audience die though.
Okay.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should.
We have 5.
We have 5.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of want him for Rotag. I'll use it. I'll use an audience
We have
die
to live
get
to
rid of
get
my
there.
penalty. True. 1 audience die.
Great success. Okay.
And I will
What did you roll on your feet die?
A 9.
a 9.
And you're
It-
using a spear, correct?
Yeah.
So you could do you could potentially do a
piercing.
piercing blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I think it's piercing anyways because my spear is keen, which means
Oh.
piercing blows are on 9.
Right. So then just do a heavy damage. Just do a heavy blow to do extra damage, and I have to do a protection roll anyway.
Awesome.
It might not be calculated in, but I'll roll the protection. So it does 12 points of damage, but let me roll its protection, which is its armor. It does have a 3 die for armor. All right. And what's your injury rating for your spear?
It is 16.
Okay, so I have to hit a 16. I have 1. So yeah. So here we go. That is a failure. Erebon, describe your kill.
Yeah, Renial just sliced the throat, and his skin's so thick that he just shrugged it off. So I aimed my spear a bit lower, and went right for like the inner thigh, and just
Okay.
tried to pierce right through and just get that vein right there, and just kind of sawed my spear a little bit before yanking it out.
Oh God, the major
And he's so
artery.
busy getting up and roaring at Aurinial that he doesn't actually see the spear coming in. And he crumbles to the ground, blood spurting everywhere. And you have managed to defeat one of Rotag's attendants, actually. This is one of his private.
Totally
private
meant
guard.
to do that, guys.
All right, guys, that was Rotag, right? Let's take a set. Get out of here.
Time to go.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
good.
Floy, how much endurance do you even
Yeah,
have?
what are you at?
Oh, that's a
Oh my
Oh,
God.
gotta beat me up.
no. This is
Yeah.
bad.
And he's still in forward. That's the funny thing.
That's long
He
plays
knows nothing but
everything against
forward.
the edge. He's got no other way to play. Okay, so that's the end of that fight. You all look around. You don't see any more. You listen for a second to see if anyone's kind of calling you. You don't hear any footsteps or anything coming towards you. You look around. There's no signs of any additional orcs that you accidentally stepped on. Floy, you do see that glinting of treasure.
Oh yes,
Just to the
something's
north.
caught my eye. I need a breather. I'll run down the corridor.
Okay, so yeah, you can just
Oh,
move your
God.
character up there.
And he didn't breather. I'm running.
The rest of us are all like, we have a
So
mission.
yeah,
Plan
see-
this out very carefully.
you see this little alcove where they have like just a bunch of different gems and jewels and all sorts of like fancy shiny things here and there. Most of it just it would be it's worthwhile. Roll like an awareness or a scan or something like that as you're looking down at this.
Yeah, I'll do a
if you
scan.
like. Okay.
I'm weary.
Okay.
Success.
As you're kind of shifting through it, most of it is pretty normal. Nothing really catches your eye until, as you're shifting through, your hand kind of grips this armband, this metallic armband that as you put your hand down over top of it, you feel it's almost icy cold. But as you're holding onto it, that iciness sort of fades a bit. But it looks like some kind of sort of very adept craftsmanship. There's like these little dark blue sapphires that seem to be encrusted in it. These very intricate runes. Very interesting craftsmanship here. But something about it kind of catches your eye.
I'll take it for now.
Okay.
You're already
Uh,
weary.
So that would be. I'll go ahead and if you look over in the items directory, Marvelous Artifacts, you'll see a jeweled armband that you can bring onto your character sheet, worth 1 load. The rest of the treasure here is worth a total of 6 load, if anybody wanted to take it. So there's 6 load. Of course I set you up.
Not on the way in, maybe on the way out, but not grabbing anything on the way in.
Okay, so you're just going to leave this treasure here. Floyd picked up the armband, but you're leaving the other treasure. Okay. All right.
I don't want to be weary.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick it up either.
Okay. I can always entice Long with treasure.
That is true.
I mean, I'm already weary. It doesn't make a difference. Another piece of treasure.
Could
Might as well take the rest of it too.
what does short rests count for?
It's like an hour long, basically, is what you're thinking of doing. So we do have that. Let me see. Short rest is once per day, usually around midday, and it's roughly an hour of inactivity. You can recover endurance points equal to your strength rating. Wounded heroes, however, do not recover any points at all. It does mean burning an hour here and hoping that no other info comes around here. And you do have a timing situation.
We do.
Oh, yeah. Because otherwise the fire will come up before.
Don't worry about me. We don't need to rest. Let's keep on pushing.
I'm going to kill Floyd. Okay.
This is bad.
Master Dwarf.
It was the really bad rolls earlier with when we went through the other piece too, because that was like 8 right there.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Master
I want 2
Dwarf,
treasures.
perhaps you
Sure.
stay towards the back in this coming fight.
Okay. So there's
He
4
says so.
treasure in the back. So there's 4
Can we
treasure still
drop
down here.
Can we drop the treasure like mid combat if we're trying to like unweary
Always.
ourselves? Like you
Yeah,
can drop a helm.
Yeah, you can drop stuff. Yeah. You can
Okay,
drop a
then
helm,
I'll
you can
take-
drop weapons. Yeah.
I'll take 2.
You
I'll
can
just
take
go
4 if
naked
you
and
want.
have no load.
Let's see how the
It's my
armor
battle
curse
axe.
manifests. You're gonna go up naked? You don't want to have your armor on at all? No, that's a good idea.
Oh my god.
No,
Gets a bonus die for intimidating though.
Just confusion, like, or like Rotag just like, respect, bro. Okay.
He takes off his as well. He's like,
Yeah.
nice. Let's
So
go.
Gilly took 4 treasure. So took 2 treasure. So there's 4 left in this
Yeah.
pile remaining.
Took 2.
So
okay,
there's 2
Renee
left.
took 2 more. Did you want to take some, Erebon?
I'm still passing.
Okay, so there's still 2 left. There's a handful.
I live
of
forever. I don't
goblins.
need treasure.
I'll pick up the 2, might as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Just weird. Yeah.
All right. And then you climb up.
Boy and I are the exact opposite
You
character.
seriously are. You seriously. So do you climb up or do you risk a short rest and miss timing everything?
We climb. We have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sticking. I swear to God, Floyd.
This is working better than I had intended. Oh, this is great. Okay. I'll bring
Not
you
great. Not
to
at all.
the shrine map. All right. Hopefully folks can see that. Let me center this a little bit better. Okay. Is everybody able to see the map okay?
I see a
Yes.
ziggurat.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this sort of like tiered shrines. Yeah, ziggurat, it's a good word for it. And you kind of come up what looks like this dark, kind of crack in the ground. You climb up. You're fairly far down. But once you get up kind of onto we're not in combat or anything yet, but you hear the sounds of something moving about up higher. Maybe you peek up, you can see that kind of crude blue banner that the herald that kind of weird looking goblin carries. You hear the clinking of their chains. You hear the sounds of, and you wonder maybe Rotag's eating or something like that. It's dark-ish, meaning like you can tell the sun has just gone down. This is dusk. Let me roll. As you're here, I will now roll to see how well your allies did. So we'll start with the dwarves. The target number is a 14. They get one feat die and 4d6. 3d6 for their distinctive features and 1d6 for the bombs to help them. Okay, that's really, really, really good.
Oh,
They did
wow.
a fantastic job. They get looks like a 6. They got 3 6s. This is an extraordinary success. You look off to the southwest, and that entire area with the copse of trees is erupted in flame. You hear distant sort of shouts, and you can see that the fire is actually moving and kind of cascading. It might actually be spilling over into some of the foot soldier camp, that one camp that isn't accounted for. And so, or maybe some of them are kind of coming to town. You hear the sounds of distant kind of howls of wargs and stuff, in the kind of freaking out over the explosions and the fire. And then Marimbem, so you look off to the southeast, just along the ridge line of the Misty Mountains here. She gets a feat die, so a d12 and 3d6s. 1 for her bombs and 2d6 for her basic personal features. Needs a 14. Not as good, but she still does pass. And so you look off kind of down the ridge, and you can see what looks like smoke in the fading light of day. You can see smoke coming up. Gilly specifically, you would know exactly where this cave entrance is, and you can see it's coming up like it's been successful there as well. But you also know that she was throwing the bombs down into the cave, and so likely you wouldn't see this huge eruption of fire the way you can see off to the southwest. Things are kind of going crazy. So, what would you guys like to do?
I would like to make like the hold sign and then start doing the hand signals. If I could quietly communicate with the group, I'd like to try and stealth forward and try to stab him in the back, at least for a good strike first, and then they can come rushing in. If everyone's okay with that, obviously.
Yeah, Gilly would like to stealth up.
Okay. This is going to be contested. So this will be something that they're going to have a chance to potentially see you coming up. So
it's just to see if we get ambushed, right?
Yeah, so this is basically just kind of assessing to see if you get in it. Let me double check something really quick. So you're trying to roll stealth. All heroes participating in the ambush must succeed. So it's not even contested. I don't even roll contested. I don't know why I said that. So what the result will be is that they can't make opening volleys or take actions in the first close quarters round of battle. So only the people who want to do this can do this. So so that means if all of you decide to do this and one of you fails, the whole ambush fails.
All right. I want to take part.
Floyd wants to go in.
I want to go in.
Erebon's going in.
Yeah, Gilly wants to stealth up.
Okay.
Let's
Aurelion?
go.
So the ambush roll has to be stealth.
Heroes roll stealth. There's other things that you could potentially use. Battle can be substituted if it's against large groups with careful planning. This isn't really a large group. Hunting can be substituted with
Careful
opportunities.
planning. We had careful planning.
You
Though it's a
have
small
hunting
group.
though, right?
I do have hunting. Yeah, my hunting's way better than my stealth.
Hunting can be substituted when I'll say hunting. The battle is specifically against large groups.
Sure,
this is
sure.
just
That's
the one
fine.
group.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
we'll compromise and say hunting. Yeah.
If we were trying to go after the whole group of orcs, maybe that would work. But
Stralis, I always have a map. Even there's so many maps we haven't used just because I like having them. It's fun. This one is Tom Carto's map, by the way. I back so many map creators on Patreon. It's fantastic.
Same.
If you're watching this on YouTube, check the notes. I link to all of the people I tend to use.
that's
okay.
cool.
So Floyd, Gilly, Erebon roll stealth. Aurelion roll hunting. If one of you fails, it's over.
Or
Okay,
audience
I'm
dice.
refreshing Foundry. Ugh.
Erebon
What else
makes
weary?
it.
I'm still doing it.
Floyd, you're committed. You said so.
You want
Yeah,
a
I do.
dice or two? Long.
No, it's fine. Watch this. As I sit back and wait.
You're deciding not to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot I was weary, so I'll hold back.
Gilly, you're sneaking up as well.
Yep, I succeeded.
Succeeded, and so we're down to just Irinial. So
Ugh.
Melissa is going to cheat, like always. So you guys are in the clear. No problem. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Well, I'm
It's not
debating
cheating if the lore master says it's okay.
if everybody isn't going. If I'm, yeah, no.
Do you want to hang back? Are you having second thoughts? You want to hang back with Floy and just let Gilly and Erebon go in?
No, I can't let Gilly go without me. I'm gonna take an audience D6. Oh, can I spend a hope?
I mean, you can. Please do.
Swift. So I'm gonna spend a hope to get me 2 more.
Let's see if he has any.
2. All right. Great success. Whew.
Nice job.
So
nice job.
let's sort of move. So Floy, you're gonna hang down here. There's enough like crumbling of the surface and stuff like that as you don't have to necessarily climb up the first level from the stairs. You can kind of climb up the sides. And so very carefully and quietly, we watch Erebon, Irinial, and Gilly kind of climb up the sides, whereas Flo, you hang back knowing that you might be it might be trouble if you climb up there. Plus you're feeling quite winded from before. Now, there are 2 targets up here. There is Rotag himself, this fairly large individual, and then there's this this scrawny little one as well. This, like, looking at it, you can't, I mean, you presume it's some sort of creepy looking goblin, and that you can see there's a chain that's connecting the 2 of them, and the goblin seems to have that sort of weird kind of herald thing. So who do you all want to target? I'm gonna go ahead and just actually throw up our combat here. Okay, so you all are going to get an ambush off. What this means is they're not going to get an open and volley, and they will not be able to act. I think was it in the first round of combat, or take actions in the first close quarters combat round. Now, I will say anyone who tries to take a ranged action from down here, just like before, the height differential is going to cause an issue. So there will be a penalty die if you're trying to shoot up at them. So you will take a penalty die to your shot. But otherwise, any order is fine. This is all happening at once. What do you guys want to do?
I'd like to run up and stab the big guy with my spear.
Okay. So we're going to do... we're doing opening volley first, basically.
Right,
so if
right,
you're not
sorry.
going to do an opening volley, we'll
I'm
skip
not
over
shooting.
You. Yeah. Irinial and Gilly, are you going to take a shot? I'll say from just a realistic perspective, you probably need to take a shot from the second level. I think it would make more sense. Like once you get up to that top level, there's no real place to hide.
Yeah.
But it's a free opening volley, and it's not going to ruin the close combat attack. You've earned your ambush, no problem.
Okay. Yeah. Gilly will attempt the small guy.
Okay, go for it. And Floy, you will get to engage in the opening close combat round, so you're going to be in combat. It's just you're going to have to probably spend your first turn running up the stairs and stuff, running up there, whereas they snuck up closer. Okay, Gilly.
That's a failure.
And Irinial, you're going to do a ranged opening volley as well?
Yeah. Wait, sorry. I didn't target somebody, so it didn't work. Let me try again.
Oh.
Okay, that is a great success.
Gandalf it.
And it's a Gandalf, so does that
And
mean
it
I
is
should
a
do
Gandalf.
piercing?
Yeah. I mean, it should be automatic, isn't it?
So it's automatically piercing, so then I should do heavy. Okay.
It's slightly different. I always forget for players. It's because it's slightly different on my end for how like success and stuff goes. So hang on, let me pull it up. It's when you have extra successes. You do have 1 extra success. Sorry. Let's. This is important. Let's double check this. This is
Yeah.
This could be a
Because I can either do heavy or piercing.
Okay, so if a successful attack roll produces 1 or more success icons, which is a 6 on a d6, you can trigger special results based on your war gear. You're using a bow, You can spend 1 success icon to modify the feat die to numerically result to modify the result of your attack by +1, which you don't need for this because it's already piercing as a feat die. So you should do heavy blow,
Okay. Heavy blow. Okay.
and then it'll automatically be a result. There we go.
10 damage, and you can make a protection roll against 14.
Oh, I can. Can I? Let me check how many die he gets for this. I will burn a hate die because I do not want to get BS'd piercing blowed to death like that one troll, that one poor troll, that one beautiful troll. Troll killed. So I'm gonna go ahead and burn an extra die for my protection roll. Or I'm gonna burn a hate, excuse me, for that. I don't think I need it, but just in case. Did you target the right one? Yeah, you targeted the Herald.
Yeah, that's what Gilly and I both shot at.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about the big one. My bad.
No,
okay,
no.
so if that's the case, that's a different thing entirely. So 10 points. No, he's just dead. no roll necessary. He's dead. Aurelial takes him out.
Nice job.
10
Good
points of
job.
damage is enough to kill the Herald.
Alright.
It only had 8 points of damage. Let me make sure I don't have anything. Yeah, I don't have the pop-up thing on this one. Okay. So the Herald
Yeah,
is
because
in
I was
fact
worried
dead.
he'd screech or something really loud.
Let me give that hate back. Okay, so that's opening volley. Opening volley done.
Alright.
How much damage? And so, yeah, no damage done to him. Begin combat. Okay, so now we're in the first close combat round. Everyone go ahead and set your stances. Burn hate sounds metal. All right, Erebon defensive, classic Erebon.
Does this still count as like the ambush round, or does he have?
This is ambush round. He will not get to act in this round. I can still burn hate to do defensive stuff, but I can't attack you guys this round. I don't.
Then
get
I
action.
will, for the first time, go forward.
Okay.
Aurelial's also going to go forward.
Gilly is gonna go open. I'm gonna do my combat tasks, so you guys have a bonus dice next round.
All right. So
Hopefully.
we know that.
Poor thinking.
So the shots come out. The first one goes wide, misses the Herald. Second shot from Aurelio lands true, and the Herald goes falls down. You see the actual banner that's carrying that big blue banner that's tattered and it's got that slash down the middle that you've seen since the very beginning of the campaign. That goes clattering to the ground. You hear, ugh. And before Rotag can really sort of figure out what exactly is going on, Aurelial and Erebon rush up to the top level to get into close combat range. Floy will say your turn obviously is going to be just kind of catching up to them. So you're right. That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I still want to catch up. I just wasn't in the
so
ambush.
so you won't get your attack in the first round just because you stayed back not to screw up the ambush. And Gilly, are you going to go up to the top round, the top level, or are you going to stay back?
She's gonna go up to the top level.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
she'll
we'll
go
kind
up to probably about there.
And so we'll say everyone's up the top now, but the only two that are really close and engaged with Rotag are Aurelial and Erebon, who are both in forward stance. Go ahead and take whatever actions you want, the two of you.
You go ahead, go first, Aurelian.
Surrender, right? Is what you're gonna do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I am going to spend a hope to get an extra 2 because this is just a bold. I'm just gonna run and just massive, kind of wind up and just swing.
Come charging
With
up, and
my
he's
sword.
shifting and moving, and right as you're charging at him. And what you see is something not unlike a cave troll, but not quite as large and sort of feral in the sense, almost like a quadruped. Like this one sort of begins to stand upright as he was squatting down on what looks like some kind of broken bit of stone. He has this huge chunk of meat in front of him that is partially seared. And he's got weapons that's already in his hands. He's not quite fully balanced. He's decked out in armor as well. And as he turns to face you, you get your attack off before he fully turns around. Let me make sure he's not a... Yeah, okay, he's not a... Yeah, there's no extra roll to do. Okay, go ahead and make your roll.
I am going to
I'm excited.
spend one of our 2 fellowship to do this favored.
Sure.
Where did my... There we go. So it's gonna be-
Since she is my focus, I will burn a hope as well.
To assist her?
Would that?
Thank you.
Can I do that or no?
I'm trying to think if that's
Is
a
that only out of combat?
That might be a combat action.
I'm
Let
sorry.
me double check. Well, you're asking things that we've never really done before, but it's probably in the rules.
Looking through.
I don't see anything to suggest. I think because you guys are both doing something right now, that we'll call. I think that would be an action.
That's fair. No worries.
Because usually support is like if you're not busy doing something else and you are going to be, assuming you're going to attack, right? So
Absolutely.
Okay,
all right.
so I've got 2d6s and I've got a feat. Okay, I think I rolled that right. Oh goodness.
All right, let's do it. It says you should be miserable. Are you marked as miserable?
Why am I miserable?
Well, we know what miserable
Oh,
means.
because I take the hope out ahead of time, and so then if I click the button, it does it a second time.
Okay, so now you're
I'm not
miserable after the
I'm not
attack is-
miserable.
Okay. Then
It took 2 out instead of 1 because I took 1 out, and because I
Mhm.
forget that it automatically takes 1 out.
okay.
So I'm fine. I'm not
All right,
miserable.
great success as you swipe down with your sword. What are you gonna do? You have an extra success there. It looks like you have a Gandalf, so you have a potential. So you have a piercing blow already. So you want to just do the heavy blow on top of this?
Yeah, I did not get a pop up.
It's probably because the miserable thing came up immediately afterwards. But you do have a great success. Yeah, you have a great success. So
And I rolled the Gandalf, so my strength is 7. So
all right. So what is the damage of your weapon?
damage of my weapon is 3.
Okay, so you're gonna do 10 points of damage.
Yes, I am.
And I'm gonna have to do a piercing. I'm gonna have to do a protection roll. I will spend a hate to ensure I don't get taken out of the fight in the ambush round here. So I'll get my 10 points of damage on the endurance roll. I will roll a protection roll now with a bonus. What is the injury rating of your weapon?
The injury rating of my weapon is 16.
Okay, so I need to hit a 16 on this. And I am not wounded with a 21. Okay.
Okay.
So
Because you take 10.
You catch him, but it looks like you're kind of trying to go almost either like right for the neck or kind of right for the heart, and you catch him across his arm as he lifts up this huge cleaver to try to block you, and he doesn't quite manage to get the weapon to intercept, and he instead blocks your attack with his forearm, which you carve right into, spurting out a little bit of blood, but he seems not too upset about it.
Okay.
Okay. Erebon, your turn.
How many audience dice do we have left?
3.
All right. I am going to use one of those.
Okay.
And I've got my great spear out and I'm running forward, both hands, just trying to skewer him like a pig.
Yeah. Also a great success.
Nice.
Looks like I can't turn that into piercing, so just heavy blow.
Heavy blow. 12 points of damage. All right. You guys got some good damage off on him on the first round. And you can definitely feel like he's as he's ripping his arm free from Auriniel's blade. Erebon, you take that opportunity to just jam the spear like right where the arm just vacated and left an opportunity, and you slide it right between the plates of armor that are covering his muscles. Okay. Floy, you spend your turn charging up. Correct?
Yes.
All right. And then Gilly, you're an open, so you wanted to do a combat task, correct?
Yeah, I want to do my Enhearten roll.
Go for it.
I'm just ripping it. Oh,
Oh,
my god.
no.
At least it's on this.
Oh no.
Why do I keep getting those?
That's enough. I have Sauron roll. You know what happens, Gilly?
What?
As you try, this is like you're trying to rally them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You begin, like you feel this surge of energy come through you as you hurry up the steps. The quick kill Iriniel had on the Herald kind of driving some of that. But as your eyes look over towards the Herald that she killed, you probably know better than maybe everyone but Floy. Know the look of a dwarf when you see one. And you see a scrawny, malnourished, utterly beaten and bruised and battered dwarf who has been kind of kept on a chain and moved around in some way. And you see the remains of some patchy beard, and you see Iriniel's arrow going straight through its heart where it has fallen. And maybe you just sag a little bit and you don't quite have the heart to kind of get the words out. And that momentary distraction. All right. Top of the round.
Oh no.
Set your stances. It's the real round now.
Jeff is
Got your
just too
chance.
happy right now. He was happy to have that reveal, and he's happy to swing back.
I've been building that one for a really long time. I can't wait to hit somebody. Oh, I want to hit
Going
somebody.
defensive.
I had it was like in the back of my mind as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, that's right, that was the Herald. That might not.
That's why I was surprised. I
Yeah.
thought you were attacking Rotag. I was like, oh, sweet, you just killed him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say Iriniel doesn't know that though. So
Just
you're okay.
Gilly at this present
Just
time.
Gilly at this point.
All right. So stance. Hold on a second. I need to switch mine.
You see the token I used for him? I used the gold
did, yeah.
token. I made all these tokens from the book art, so all this stuff. All right, so stance selections. Floy, you going forward?
Going full forward.
Attaboy. Iriniel, you're an open. Erebon is defensive. Gilly, you've stepped back. You pull out your bow. And here we go. All right, Floy, you're up first. Do it.
Oh, I go first. Okay.
Yeah, your
Bring out my
forward
axe.
stance as you
Let's
step
go.
up into this. I will say, this guy is pretty big. He is a troll after all. He's not as big as a massive cave troll, but he's certainly equivalent of a stone troll. Because of that, I'm not going to give you like a crazy advantage, but I'll give everybody a +1 because you are certainly outnumbering him at this point. Had the Herald been alive, I wouldn't allow this, but in this case, yes.
Yeah, I'll charge up with my axe out. I'll just scream his name. Rotag! Go for a swing.
Dwarf.
I'm weary still, so here we go. Ooh. So
Oh, this is gonna be awful.
You charge in, you yell his name, he turns, looking straight down at you, this massive face, eyes kind of wide, face kind of has this sort of this huge hulking forehead, this sort of smushed down nose, scars from battle, and he just yells with this thunderous voice, "Woof!" And it just the momentary pause, and you just feel the wind sweeping down at you from the shout, and maybe that slows you down. Whatever it is, he's able to easily just sort of push you aside, and you kind of go stumbling off and miss. Iriniel, open stance, you're up. This guy's gonna freaking wipe the
This
party.
is gonna be awful. This is gonna be awful. I'm gonna take one of the audience D6s. I don't want to take the last fellowship, so I won't.
I'm just gonna say, use everything at your disposal. This is a boss fight. This guy's no joke.
I know, but other people haven't used
Should
them.
I use my OP?
I will give you my fellowship point that I have not used.
There's only one left for everybody.
In the distance, you hear the sounds of orcs shouting, war horns blaring.
Oh
you see
gosh,
the burning
darn it.
fire of the trees.
You're so just egging me into spending this last fellowship point.
You hear the wargs howling in anger. You wonder at the fate
Fine.
of your
I'm
allies.
taking the last fellowship.
Baiting her into this so that
Yes, you
somebody who does
are.
real damage doesn't actually use it. Oh, we got another audience die.
Thank you. We're
Thank you,
back up to
Farkadev.
2.
Oh, we got another one. That's 2 more.
Hey.
Oh.
Okay.
All
Melissa, are you going to roll at any point? Are we going to have your turn?
Oh,
boy. I
oh.
shouldn't. I apologize. Take your time. Never mind.
I have 2 options for special successes.
She rolled, for those of you who aren't looking at the screen, an extraordinary success. She got a Gandalf on her feet die, and she got 2 success icons on her d6s. What are we doing?
Okay, so I actually got a Sauron on one of my feet die.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
a 7 and a Sauron. So
I mean,
Oh, I'm
your
sorry.
feet
That's a
was
sour.
7.
My bad. My
Yeah.
bad. Sorry. So you do have a 7. So you could
So,
burn
adding
one
one
of
to the
those
feet
successes.
would only get it to an 8.
Don't you have something on yours that allows for piercing blow at a lower rate? Isn't yours keen?
It's keen, which I thought was 9 instead of 10.
It is 9. Okay.
So I'm just
You
going
can
to
take it
add...
It
twice.
just lowers the threshold, doesn't it?
Well, no. I mean, she's right. You need to get to.
Oh,
9.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But you could
Now
burn
I
both
can
of them. You
I
could
can
burn
do
both of them to
one-
get to 9.
I can do 1 heavy blow and 1 fend off.
Sure. You could also do 2 of the pierce to get to a piercing blow. If you burn both of the successes on pierce, you could increase that
remember,
7 to a 9. For a
If he
piercing blow.
gets 2 wounds, that's faster than burning through his endurance, probably.
Okay, I will spend both of them on piercing blow then.
I just want to warn you guys. These guys got some tricks, so don't get upset.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, it's either piercing blow or
It's your call.
1 heavy blow and 1 fend off.
I'm
open
just
to
walking you
suggestions.
through your options.
I would try
Fend off only works if he attacks you.
I feel like he probably will.
How do
He
we
has
know
a
that?
dwarf in front of him currently.
Don't necessarily know if he's got that hatred of dwarves the way the other one does.
Maybe, I don't know.
He didn't
I'm
yell
actually
about
I'll
using-
do
dwarf, though.
piercing.
This is
What'd
actually
you say,
tabletop
Steven?
audio that I'm using.
Nothing. I was just ignoring
The
it.
Siren Script's awesome as well. But I use tabletop audio.
How's that only 3 damage?
Because your sword only does 3 points of damage. You always only do the sword. The sword does 3 points of damage. So what did you use for your extraordinary successes? What did you do for your extra successes?
Both of them piercing.
So I got to roll a piercing blow. Okay. So yeah, you only do 3 points of damage because you didn't take a heavy blow or anything like that.
But you might get a wound, which is
Yeah,
worth it.
damage in this game is flat. It is the weapon damage, and then only if you have a heavy blow do
Yeah,
you add strength
yeah.
on top of it. All right,
I hope I
I-
chose.
I'm going to be very
correctly.
careful, and I'm burning a hate so that I can use my thick hide ability to give me.
Even if he passes the protection, he's still burning. Hey, it was a good choice, I think.
so thick hide actually gives me 2 d6 on my protection roll instead of 1. So I will roll. What's my target number? Who am I kidding? I'm going to beat this, no problem. 18. Is that
Yeah,
good
was
enough?
over
close there.
16.
I was close. I did roll a full. Oh man, look at all those ones I rolled.
4 ones.
I rolled 4 ones on 66s, but it's enough. Still 3 points of damage. Whittling them down. Whittling them down. All right.
It was a good call, Melissa. It was a good call.
You're burning through his resources. I only have 47 more hate to use. Erebon, you're up.
Yeah, so I'm actually in this now, and I got my friends next to me. There's no one else behind us. I am just going at him with the Great Spear.
All right, we've got 3
Go for
audience
it.
D6s.
Okay.
I will use 2 of them.
All right. Oh no! Oh yay! How did
What?
you?
He got success. What are you talking about?
I saw
no.
the one,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
just thought.
Not enough to get a piercing blow, so I'll do the heavy instead.
Yes. 12 points of damage. You guys are really wearing him down. Crap, I did that math wrong. No, I didn't. I did that math wrong. Okay.
As in, like the paper cut, kind of wearing someone down.
Gilly,
Death by 1,000 cuts.
you see them. He just basically stiff arms Floyd, who nearly falls down the stairs. Arinial, Erebon. kind of fending him off as well. Gilly, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna attempt to do my combat task
Aim.
for
Okay.
prepare shot.
Prepare a shot. Okay. So roll that so that next turn you can get your bonus die.
If it would
I should point out, by the way, the bonus die for gang up, for them being around him, that's what I do. It doesn't really apply to you since you're not really in close combat.
yeah, I didn't think it would.
Right on. We're on the same page.
I really want this, so I'm gonna spend a hope.
Okay.
Well, no, not yet. I'm just gonna attack. I'm gonna spend a hope, and I'm gonna attack him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use keen-eyed.
Go for it.
You can do it.
I am not looking.
Yay.
Okay, great success.
Okay. That's not that was your for aim, right? That wasn't an attack, was it?
I decided to just do an attack because I was gonna spend a hope.
Okay. Sure.
So,
Nice job.
I have a grievous fell bow.
Okay.
So I do grievous 4 damage. Fell. I did get that. Okay.
Fell just raises the damage rating by 1. And fell is for it raises the injury rating of the weapon by 2.
Okay, yeah. So
you can't you can't get high enough to get you might as well just do a heavy blow here.
okay.
Yeah, 8 points of damage. Right. Okay. He is almost to half health. I mean, maybe another round or 2 of that, and he'll get there.
And then he'll go to
Okay.
0, and then he'll pop back up, and then he'll do it again.
Yep.
Told you.
And we'll go to 0 at some point in there.
He's got some tricks.
Oh no, who is it gonna
Whose
hit?
turn it is?
This is gonna be bad.
Fresh meat.
He's got 2 attacks. I will roll randomly.
Oh, crap.
I've been doing the most damage. If that
see.
would aggro him.
Okay, I will go ahead. Sure. 2 people did damage to him in close combat. Floyd did nothing. So he's just a piece of crap dwarf who got in the way. He'll be the new herald. So
That's funny.
So he will attack Aurinial and Erebon.
Okay.
I didn't mean to get Erennial attacked. I was just throwing myself out there.
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
wasn't
split
saying
the
you should
attack.
hit her.
no.
I don't want to just kill
I
someone.
want
I'm gonna,
Floyd
I'm gonna,
to be able
I'm gonna
to
take 2 of you
attack
down.
again.
Who gets the cleaver is the question. 1 to 3, it'll be Aurinial. It'll be Aurinial. Aurinial, you get the cleaver.
Okay.
As he rips his arm free from where you had slashed it. The spear underneath from Erebon into the ribs, and then this arrow catches him in the shoulder. He grabs this massive cleaver that is kind of like his signature weapon. The whole, like, so many of the orcs here are using these like cruel looking cleavers themselves, and he brings it back and just overhand smash down at Aurinial. Okay, I am going to target
You got
somebody.
this, Erennial. It won't do nothing.
Aurinial is far more brave than Less is.
I will burn a hate to get a bonus die on this attack, and I will swing. And that is a great success with a 23. I get a 10 on the feat die. I will do a heavy blow. 18 points of damage against Aurinial as this tomahawk chop of the cleaver. Your protection roll fails. You are wounded.
Remember, you could take knockback instead.
Yeah, knockback.
You're still going to be
for
wounded,
9.
but you can take the knockback if you prefer.
And knockback is once per round?
Once per round.
No, but then I can't hit next time.
That's correct.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
9 endurance. But it's your call.
It would be instead taking 9 points of damage as opposed to 18.
Yeah,
And
because you're taking 18 damage.
You know, you
right
guys
now.
can spend your resources on protection rolls too. You don't just have to quickly
Yeah.
press the button next time. It's too late. You roll the die, but in the future you can always spend
Yeah,
stuff on it.
I like fast rolls, okay?
I
So
know
don't
you
take that
do.
away from me.
You know what? You can do whatever the hell you want, but the rest of them. All right, Melissa, are you taking the knockback? Are you getting knocked back? Or are you taking the full 18?
Sure, I'll get knocked back.
Yeah,
Okay,
because if
so
you
you
take
take
the full
9.
18, you'll be wary.
Move your token back just a few steps so that we kind of sort of represent it on the map a little bit. And then as he's pulling back the cleaver, as this maw opens up and he tries to sort of lean down, hunch over Erebon, and tries to take a bite out of Erebon. So let me target Erebon for this one. I will not use a hate on this one. I'm just going to do a straight up bite. And I roll a 1 on my feet die, and I will miss. So you're able to elude the bite as that comes down. Only 1 hits.
I kind of flip my spear so the butt of it goes right up into his mouth, and it just kind of pins it up a little bit so he can't get low enough to actually bite me.
Next round, it'll be Floyd's turn. Actually, well, stance changes first, obviously.
Yeah, are
Sorry,
we changing
excuse me.
stances?
I feel
Floy,
good
are
with
you
defense.
staying in forward? Are you doing
Yeah, I'm
defensive? Oh God.
I'll stay open.
Well, you don't get to attack a Renial, so defensive might be a good idea.
You're right. Yeah.
He also wouldn't attack her because that means she got knocked away,
True,
and he's
true.
got 2 other engagements on him, so he'd probably turn his attention to you guys. You do know he's got 2 attacks, so he's likely going to turn his attention to you. Floy, you're in
Alright.
forward stance. I really
I'm
worry
gonna-
about Floy.
Oh God.
Raise my axe
I'm
here
terrified first, boy.
for the hope of the dwarves.
Let's do
Spin a
it.
little hope. We're proud.
Hungry.
We have 2 audience D6s.
Oh, I found his
That,
lagging a bit, but
That's
Nice.
a good roll.
popped out
What?
extra
Good roll.
Extraordinary
success.
success.
Wow.
And you're
Ooh.
weary too. So you rolled
Yeah.
a 6, a 5. So the ones don't count. So 6, 5, 6, and a 4. And you rolled a 9 on the feet. That's a hell of a roll. All right,
Oh my
walk me through what you're
God.
doing with these
You got
points.
6
happening?
bonus dice.
Holy
That's crazy.
crap. Dear God. So what are you doing?
Well, I've never done this fend off thing. Let me take a look at it. So it's +2 to parry.
Yeah.
That
Makes
might
it
be
harder for him to
pretty
hit.
good. I'll do 1 fend off, 1 heavy blow. See how that works out.
If you do the
Okay.
other one piercing, you're 1 away from.
I don't have
Yeah.
that. I don't have that special
Oh, okay.
axe.
Oh, because it's an axe. That's right.
Yeah. So it comes out to 14 damage.
Okay, 14 points of
+2
damage.
defending.
And you have +2 to your parry. So 14 points of damage. Okay. You guys have really hacked into this pretty well. So as he's turned his attention to Erebon, "Grrr," and he seems to be struggling with the length of the great spear, you take that opportunity to just hack away at his backside as he sort of turns away from you. Aurenial, you get back up. You sort of stumble back to position.
Yep.
Erebon.
All right, I use the pull back to yank my spear out and quickly flip it and try to slice at his face.
He's like,
I'll use
turns
1
back to the
audience
dwarf,
die.
trying to take
Okay.
advantage of his momentary distraction from Floyd cutting through the back of his leg.
Oh no.
Oh no! Wasted the die.
You lunge forward and you find purchase, but you feel like the shaft of the spear almost bend as the spearhead catches what looks like the side of some kind of, some sort of piece of armor. You don't quite get all the way up to the head, or maybe you do, and there's like a small little panel of like a helm, and as you do, it kind of bends ever so slightly as you can't quite pierce through the armor.
Thanks,
And
chat,
Gilly.
for the extra D6.
Oh, thank you so much. Scooby on tour. Welcome to the potty. Boss battle that's been building for like 14 episodes, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gilly. You didn't take the aim last round, so it's just normal. What would you like to do? Take a shot? You saw Aurenial take a brutal hack.
Yeah. I'm gonna attack him again. I'm just gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spend another hope.
Arena, did you roll severity of wound?
I did.
How
It's
was it?
bad. 5 days.
Okay.
Oh, I have to select him. 'cause-
Well, hopefully we don't have to fight much after this.
No, you guys will be fine.
There's only hundreds of orcs around.
I am
this
keeping
area.
track, by
We'll
the
run
way.
away. It's fine.
I am keeping track of rounds, just so you know. You guys are nowhere close to reinforcements yet. You guys did a lot of prep stuff, so you're not really in danger. Okay.
Nice.
I need to beat a 16 target number for that. 4 points of damage.
So I got
Okay.
an ordinary success. I'm doing 4 damage, and Jeff needs to protect.
Yeah. So I gotta roll.
Nice job. Nice job.
All right.
Give me a wound, please.
Target number of 16. I am
16.
going to risk it and not do any hate because I do have a decent amount of armor die. Please say this is not a stupid idea. I am good.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I told you he's well armored, but it's still, you're still chipping away.
Yeah, take my
He's
measly
he's
4
almost to half
damage.
health. Almost to half health. Couple more rounds.
I feel like you said that last round too.
I did. Hey, you know whose turn it is? He's angry now. Angry. So let's figure out who gets the cleaver. So Floy or Erebod. 1, 2, 3. It'll be Floy.
Oh no.
That's a 3. It will be Floy.
Floy. Floy only had 10 endurance to mess with.
No, I'm fine.
Floy. No, you're not.
He'll be on his last endurance and just be like, I'm fine.
Okay.
We have 3 d6s if you need it for a roll. Keep that in mind.
I am going to burn a hate to get an extra bonus die on this attack. Plus,
That's
you were
mean.
in. I play to win. It's only fair.
That's hateful, is what it is.
Well, I am burning hate. Okay. Plus, I get the bonus because he's an assault. It is harder to hit him though, because he does have the fend off. Here we go. Again, this time he's going to take the Great Cleaver and spin around, trying to catch Floy, who had just hacked through the back of his leg, and see if he can literally just twing Floy completely in two. That is a success. It's just a regular success, though. So 7 points of damage. No special. Your fend off. I mean, it didn't really help, but I didn't roll
Almost.
any extra successes. Again, I'm rolling pretty poor.
Knockback
So 7 points of
again.
damage. You're still up, right?
Yeah, I'm still up. I'm straight back.
Okay. And knockback would have
No,
that.
not-
No, it's fine. No.
Oh God.
When he does 18 damage the next turn, it
Yeah.
won't matter anyways.
I know. Yeah, I think it makes sense. He's going to now turn to Erebon, and I'm going to use this time. I'm going to use Crush on you. So he's
Oh.
going to reach out. So he's going to take his hand off the cleaver, and he's going to sort of reach out at this point and try to grab Erebon with this Crush attack with his hand. He's just literally trying to wrap his hand around him. I will burn a hate to get a bonus die on this because this is a fun attack. If it works. You are in defensive, so my hate will cancel that out. Get over here. But you're able to once again, Erebon moving
Wow.
like the graceful elf that he is, despite his protestations otherwise. He managed to duck
Me?
under the
Grace?
grass. Well, Erebon, yes, not Steven. New
I'm just
round.
making Seinfeld references now.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Why don't you just tell me the number that you're trying to? So, new round. Stance changes for anybody?
Forward.
Yeah, I will switch to defensive.
Okay.
Switch to
Floyd's
open.
in. Okay.
I'm going to try to do a thing.
We got a nice balance going on. All
Floyd,
four
you're
of us.
up.
I'm
Do we
terrified.
have
Fellowship
fellowship
you're
left,
up.
or have we used it all? Do
Say that again?
we have fellowship, or is that all?
We do not.
Okay.
We do have dice, and
We
we
do
just
have-
got another one.
We have 3 dice.
So I'm gonna wield my axe here, my last breath, pretty much, for all the dwarves. In the peace of the realm, I'll strike you down. I'll just burn whatever I can here. My hope.
Okay.
The crowd.
And,
Do you want
and,
any
and
audience
Ireniel's
dice?
back in the party, so there's 3 of you now. Because she stepped over. No, you should move yourself up. You step back up.
sorry.
As long as there's 3 of you on you. three of you on him, you guys can take a sort of an advantage dice from that. If there's only ever
Okay.
two of you, so if one of you gets knocked back, then you won't get it. But if there's three of you stay up here, then yeah, you can take it. So you get that bonus die from that.
And I have plenty of bonus die here, so I won't take any audience.
Okay.
Another success. Just a regular
Good.
success though.
Success? Okay, so it's gonna be 7 damage.
7 points of damage. Okay, you guys are definitely cutting into him. You see, he's bleeding from several wounds here and there, but he doesn't really seem like he's slowed down too much yet. Aurenial comes to you.
So do we think I'm trying to decide if I should do Enhearten or if I should just attack.
He's snarling at this point, mad that he hasn't been able to like get Erebon before he's darting around.
Come here, elf. Eat.
I'm gonna try to do an Enhearten. See if that'll help us for next round.
Do whatever you like.
I'm going to take an audience. All right. Fingers crossed. Automatic success. All right.
Okay. That's a
So with that,
Gandalf on that feat die.
so that's a
Nice.
rally comrades. So all party members fighting in forward stance gain 1 dice on their attack rolls in the following round.
So next round, you want it to be the round, huh? I don't think Floyd is going to be around for that round, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Erebon bite as he's darting around like a crazy man. Erebon.
Yeah, I have a question. I think I know the answer. I don't think I can do this, but
No.
as an elf, I can spend a hope to get a magical success.
That's correct.
It doesn't necessarily say I have to spend it before I roll. Is that how it works, though? Could I spend it after I roll?
I think it does actually say before you roll. Let me look it up.
I did just look it up.
You did look up? Okay.
Yeah.
So you... I could have sworn it was before you roll, though. But I will take
If
your
you are
word
not
for it.
miserable, you can spend 1 point of hope to achieve a magical success on a skill roll. That's
Okay,
page 4.
So what skill are you rolling?
Well, spears aren't actually a skill, are they? Never mind.
Exactly.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna keep stabbing this guy. Stabby, stabby.
So player heroes possessing a magical talent or artifact can spend 1 point of hope before a skill roll to achieve a magical success. So page 21. It is before.
That's
So
page
you do have to-
21. Okay, because I was looking at hope in the later chapter too. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No worries.
We have 3 audience dice.
2.
2. I will spend 1 to negate my penalty for being defensive. And then let's see how we do here.
That's
all right,
great
all right.
success.
Hey.
Okay.
I will piercing blow.
Go for it. Sorry, just reading something. Okay. So I got to beat a 16. I will burn a hate to ensure I do not.
Roll some ones, buddy. Roll some ones. Bad juju.
There's no way in hell I'm getting wounded by you. Boom. Even with a 1 on the feet die, still an extraordinary
Yeah.
success.
6, 6, and
Wow.
5. Not much I can do about it.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I did burn another hate, though. Okay. Gilly.
Still
comes to you.
5 damage.
5 points of damage. Thank you for reminding me. I actually didn't record that. All right, Gilly. Can you kill him before he kills Floy?
You can
It's
do
the
it.
last chance. I know Jeff knows that mathematically it's basically impossible for you to do that, but you know what?
Yep. You know, just
You
lay
need
on
some
the
hope
pressure.
right now. You need some hope right now. Go for it.
Do we have how much audience dice do we still have?
We just got another one, so now we're back up to 2.
Why doesn't anyone ever give me stuff? You know?
'Cause you're already doing great.
What? Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
very
use
nice.
one of them.
I gave you stuff before you invited me on as a player, and you made me biased against you.
That's true.
And I failed.
Oh no.
Okay.
It was a good try, Gilly. It was a good try.
Okay.
Oh goodness. I am back up here, so there is a chance that me and Open Stance he could.
No,
hit
for sure,
me
for
and
sure.
kill me
I'm
instead
gonna.
of
I will
Floyd.
randomly target. I am going to randomly target every time, and I'm gonna split my I'm just gonna split my attacks every time. I'm just double checking something really quick.
Somebody may die. It may just not be Floyd.
I mean,
well, none of you are currently injured, right?
I'm in.
No.
I am not wounded.
You are
Oh, you got a
wounded.
wound. Oh, yeah,
so
you
I
did get a
could
wound.
kill Auriniel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, when I am about to, so if I go ahead and take out Floy here, if you're reduced to 0 endurance, you're not dead. You're unconscious. That's it. So I just want to double check that beforehand. Okay, Rotag's turn. He will put the hand back on the Great Cleaver, and he will target somebody. 1 to 2 for Floy, 3 to 4 for Auriniel, 5 to 6 for
I mean, I've been
Angmar.
consistently hitting him.
Sure. Floy just did damage to him as well, and Auriniel has did a bunch of damage in the beginning, so 1 to 6. It is a 4. It'll be
That's
Auriniel.
me.
If I wound you,
Yep.
Auriniel dies.
Yep.
Okay. You're in open stance. I'm not going to burn any hate because I do want to keep some of that.
It'll make that enheartened bittersweet.
I will tell you,
Floyd will still be alive to use it.
the injury rating on this weapon is a 20. So if I do manage to wound you, there's no
There's
guarantee I'm going to. It's a very
Sure.
difficult injury protection roll to hit. It is a successful hit. It is a great success, but I only rolled a 7 on the feat die, so it will not be a piercing blow. I will instead add 10 to the damage with a heavy blow, and you will take 18 points of damage, Auriniel.
Okay, so I will knock back.
Get knocked back. Yeah, makes sense.
So then I will take 9.
Good call. Good call.
Okay. Then
She
for
lives to
this-
fight another round.
It's just, yeah. So you guys are really dancing around this. This is good. This is good. The next one, the next attack is going to be on either Floy or Erebon. 1 to 3 for Floy. He will turn to Floy, who gave him this for dwarf speech, and he will say,
I have eaten more impressive dwarves than you.
and he will. Should I go bite? I'm gonna go bite with this one. I think bite sounds good. This is.
He's talking about food.
I think so. As he's going to sort of lean down and try to bite at, and I'm not gonna burn any hate for extra attacks. I'm gonna start saving that for defense. That is a success, but it's just a regular success, and it's 6 points of damage.
That's enough.
It is enough. That's what I thought. Yeah. So you guys watch as he, and in his mouth he just wrings his head back, and he's got Floy in his mouth at this point, crunching down. He thrashes it about. He thrashes the body of Floy about, and then he just flings him, and he kind of moves a couple feet down the steps. But you look off to the side, and you see Floy having been thrown to the side, bleeding at the top of the steps. I will say all of you are probably, you look over and you can probably see he's not, you're not sure if he's dead, but you think you see movement in the chest. Next round. Set stances.
Do I take a shadow scar or a
I think
shadow point, or
He's
is it
not
just when he was wounded?
Melissa, you know the rule on this one, right? Isn't it wound or something horrible happens to him or something like that? Isn't there like a caveat for something horrible?
So it's wounded, bout of madness, or seriously harmed.
Seriously harmed, I think this qualifies.
But yeah, I agree.
So
Okay.
take the shadow scar. I think that's, yeah. Okay.
Is it a shadow scar or a temporary shadow point?
A shadow point, sorry.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Big round here, guys. Big round. Floyd's out of the fight, unconscious. Auriniel, Erebon, you're up in combat. Gilly, you just saw your best friend, your fellowship focus, your biography focus get
Yep.
bit, thrown into the air with teeth, and flop to the ground. What? Was anyone going? Okay, now Auriniel just did that It just did your
In Harton, yeah.
the Enhearten, and you got a great success on it.
She just got a regular success, so it's only those
So
in
only
forward
people
stance.
in forward stance.
Forward.
Yeah.
Do you risk it?
Me?
No, everybody. Does everyone risk
Oh,
it
yeah.
and go forward stance to
can't.
get the bonus?
Actually,
die?
I
I am
can't.
going forward.
Why can't you, Aurenia?
Because I did knockback, so I have to spend this whole turn
Okay.
getting up.
Erebon, finding the reservoir of courage deep in his heart somewhere, rushes forward. Gilly, do you just stay back in rearward, or do you charge in, angered now? The way.
Oh, she
similar-
knows she's trash with her sword. She's
I mean, when Merry and Pippin saw Frodo go down, they still charged in with their knives and this and that. And they charged as well when Boromir went down. They knew they
Don't
were.
let him goad you. You stick with the bow.
You know what you're good
I'm
at.
just saying. Some hobbits are braver and more courageous than others. That's all.
I'm not a Shire Hobbit, Jeff. I'm a Bree Hobbit.
Clearly, this is why there are no stories to be told by J.A.R. Tolkien about Gilly Keller.
Just you wait. Just you wait.
No, I think he's dead, so I don't think he's going to be writing anymore. But that would be cool if he could.
Who knows,
All right,
Jeff?
Erebon, you're up first. Then you're in forward stance.
Like you said, something kind of clicks in Erebon. He sees Floy go flying. He sees Erennial getting shoved back and back multiple times. He grits his teeth, lowers his spear for Fornost, for Balavan, and just jabs forward. I will spend a hope on this for the extra die. How many audience dice do we have?
We've got one left.
If you
Okay.
guys don't mind me using it.
All yours.
All right. Still can't do nothing.
It's still damage, and he has several wounds on him. He's got arrows sticking out of him. He's bleeding from numerous slashes. He is still standing after you stab him one more time with the spear. But you can tell he has lost a step. He's getting low. He is actually finally at 50% health.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's getting just starting. He's good. All right, that was Erebon. Aurenial, you step back up.
Yes.
Okay. Gilly, can you be the one?
Come on, Gilly.
Oh God. Okay. So
Or will a second dwarf die today? The first one. Your ally, your friend, killed the dwarf. This time, I will tell you that he's well past 50%. He's in the danger zone.
yeah.
He's in the danger zone. I would feel stronger if it was Floy or Aurenial or Erebon attacking right now. I think I can survive a Gilly hit, but no offense,
Probably.
Gilly.
I'm trying to refresh my foundry. Sorry.
Don't antagonize
Are you using
Jeff.
Chrome? Are you using Chrome?
Yeah, should I not be using Chrome?
I stopped using Chrome and I'm using Firefox, and I'm not having any of my problems anymore.
Okay, I'll have to download that.
I don't know what's going on. It's been for about a month I've been having problems, and I never had any problems before.
I'm like, what the heck?
For Bree, for Staddle,
So we
for
have no
Coob,
dice,
for
right?
Archit,
That is
for
correct.
all the hobbits in the Belee lands,
Okay.
from the Green Way to the last bridge.
I
I
am
shall striketh at thee.
going to get miserable in a second. Oh, when I refresh, I gotta retarget.
Oh,
How much
this
health do you
is-
guys think he has?
I don't
curiosity.
know.
Like 50%.
11.
Success.
Another
4 damage.
success. 4 points of damage. Another arrow. Right next to the other one. So there's now 2 sticking out of his big, meaty shoulder. However, it is not enough to take him out, which means he will get another attack. You hear in the distance the sound, the war horns of everyone's going crazy. You see the smoke billowing up into the sky. The whole horizon is lit up with fire, as it looks like the fire that the dwarves lit in that copse of trees by the war camp has spread now into the main foot soldier encampment. All hell is breaking loose down there. You know it's just a matter of time before reinforcements come. One of your allies is down. Some might say the most offensive of your allies is down, and I mean that in every way of the word. He has 2 targets.
2 more audience dice too.
Yep, if we need it for
We definitely need it.
defensive stuff.
I think because Erebon did damage last round, I think it makes sense that Erebon takes the cleaver this round. That is the most dangerous weapon, and so that is what I'm going to do. I will even burn a hate, because I have a couple of those. Now I'm going to see if I can get some horrible things happening.
It's going to be his first time hitting me, and it's only going to take 1 hit.
Oh my goodness, so much generosity. We've got 3 dice for defense.
That is only a regular success. I didn't get any
Oh.
bonus successes, so only 7 points of damage.
Now you know how I've been feeling. I've been rolling
Yeah.
6 dice and getting regular successes.
Oh,
I
man.
will tank that 7. That's nothing.
Seven-
Yeah, no big
seven's
deal. I feel
really
like
not
Floyd
that
now. Is this what it's like to be Floyd? Like, it's amazing.
As he swings back down, you're next oath. And then he looks down at Aurelio. Or maybe. And you can tell he's got labored breathing at this point. I'm going to attempt I'm going to do the bite. Because I think I can take you out. I'm going to do the bite. I will burn another hate. I am low on hate, too. I still got a little bit left. All right. As he tries to snap down at Aurelio.
Missed.
He misses. And you manage to just fend him off. He's, again, moving slower. He's been worn down considerably. All right. New round.
Erebon, did you take the extra dice when you rolled against him?
I took 1 die, but we've gotten 3 more since. I
From the
believe.
Enharten?
He is throwing this massive.
oh, no,
cleaver
I didn't.
around.
I'll
roll
just
it again.
take my hope back then, if that's all right. Because I spent a hope.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
No,
fine. That'll
you.
work.
Okay.
No, he spent out. That's fine. Bring him back. Okay.
Sorry.
New round. Floy, you're still unconscious, bleeding, gonna die. No problem. He could have thrown you on top of the other dwarf. But Erebon and Aurelio, you're in close combat stances. Could this be the round?
I'm going to stay forward.
Gosh. Like I want to go.
You get to go
forward,
before he does. Do you go all in here?
Yes, I do.
Are
I
you
do.
heroes or are you cowards?
We are heroes. We would be dead heroes, but we're heroes.
All right, you guys are both in forward stance. I'm very appreciative of this. Okay, it looks like Aurelio, you're up first on the tracker.
Oh gosh.
Let's do it.
My
He's
heart
the
is in
danger
my
zone.
throat. I hope.
So if I spend the
It's
hope,
close. This is close.
is that going to make this roll miserable? Because it would
then
be
you-
even.
But you're not miserable until you roll it, because I think the game, like, Foundry does it so, like, it takes the hope out after you roll. I don't know if that counts.
Is it after? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to trust that
Yeah,
that is
did you,
correct.
You said that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, because you removed one and then it removed one.
Well, no, that was only because like I take it out. Oh, that's right. So don't take it out first.
Yeah.
And no bonus
That's
die
right.
just for the two of you.
That's
This
right.
thing's big enough not to be horribly outflanked by just 2 measly combatants.
Okay, so I
I
am.
feel like if I was even forward, it still wouldn't count. It'd be 2.5.
Oh. Okay, so I am weary and I am wounded. But I am going to do the hope point bonus dice, and I'm going to use one of the audience, which will leave 2.
The blood of the Dunedain might not flow through Aryniel's veins,
All right,
but the
here
hero
goes.
in her has some of the qualities. Great success.
Great success. So what did I roll on my? It was a 2.
Okay.
So do I do heavy or fend off? I guess if we're going all in, I do heavy, right? Yes.
I think fend off makes perfect sense.
10 damage.
You see Aryniel charge in, Erebon next to her, shouting various battle calls. Floyd bleeding out a few steps away. Gilly lining up another arrow shot from across the bonfire. You kind of move off to the side as the head comes down to snap at Aryniel. And before he is able to retreat the head back up, you take the sword and thrust it right into the neck of Rotag. And it kind of lifts you up as his head pulls back up as he tries to stand. But you don't let go, and you just... And he drops the cleaver, clatters to the ground, and he just thrashes, reaching wildly with one hand down to try to grab Aryniel, but can't quite grab her. The other one he brings up to his throat, wrenches the sword free, and with it a huge chunk of his throat just erupts, blood kind of pouring down his chest. Tries to grab you, and he kind of hovers for a moment right at the edge of this top tier. There's like a 15-foot drop below, maybe even Erebon. You take the butt of the spear, and you just help him as he just falls and smashes down. You have defeated Rotag, the Olag High.
Let's
Nice
go.
job,
Shit.
Reniel.
Awesome.
It was all you.
You look around. You are still well behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
You have cut the head off the snake. Floy lies nearby. What do you do quickly?
Go check on Floy.
We need
Run
to
over
grab
to
him
him.
and go.
You run over to him, Erebon. You don't see any major wounds, like nothing fatal, nothing that can't be patched up later. But you can tell it's just this little cuts here, bruises, crush marks here. Nothing that you think might be lethal right away. So you could probably just drag him with you. Yes.
Yeah, if I can take him, I'll take him.
Okay.
Do I need a healing roll because of my wound?
You have like an hour, I think, to do. We talked about this last time, right? You have the
Hour is a
Yeah.
different game.
No, you have
it's...
that's only if you're dying. So you're fine.
okay.
We can do that
I'm
for
fine.
later.
Okay.
The
That's
hour is
all
only
right.
yeah. Okay.
Then we pick Floy up and get back in the tunnels.
Okay. So you
I
start
believe.
racing down. Do you stop and get that treasure? Oh no, I think you guys all picked it up, right?
There's 2
we
treasure
did.
left. 2
Okay,
loads.
good.
Okay.
Oh, you did.
Alright.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna grab
Of course,
the
Floyd did.
My bad.
his cleaver for Floy.
You cannot lift this up, Gilly.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
No, it's
I
enormous.
asked if someone else can
It's
grab
literally
it.
bigger than you.
Enormous. Yeah, this is.
You
this
ask,
is
and I'm
not-
holding Floy right now, and I kind of.
Like a really.
Floyd, what are you using for a weapon?
It's a great X at the moment.
Yeah, I mean they're comparable in stats. So, but I just flavor it as a cleaver. But it's
Oh,
comparable
okay,
in
okay.
stats.
Then never mind.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how Floyd would feel about wielding a weapon that had been used to slaughter so many of his kind, so many of your kind,
That's
so many.
true.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we'd need something for like proof that we killed them,
Proof to whom?
An ear is much lighter.
like Ballin, like that we actually like completed this task.
I think Ballin would believe you. He's
Just-
your,
okay.
he's your fellowship. Yeah. Okay. So you collect you collect Floy. He doesn't have anything in terms of like treasure or anything on him, so you have to worry about that. And most of what he's wearing is too large or heavy for really any of you to wear. He's again big old troll.
Yeah.
But you quickly hop back down. You've moved past the bodies of his attendant. Now imagine this fight, by the way. with 2 of those attendants, and that's what it could have been.
Oh,
And it
shit,
also could have
yeah.
been one of his lieutenants that you've managed to distract. And because of the great success the extraordinary success the dwarves had, they actually distracted 2 of the lieutenants, and Marimbem was able to distract the other. But you race through the tunnels as best you can. You push past. You know that section where the sliver was, where that dark voice kind of whispers out at you all as you pass by. You steal, like with steel in your hearts, and you just push through as fast as you can. Cover your mouths, cover your noses, and just sort of rush through that foul smell. You get back to the entrance, and you can see that the whole sky now is just ablaze from that copse of trees. You see shadows, you hear the sounds of footprints, the footsteps and boot prints in the snow and in the gravel. Maybe you, at some point, like get your weapons ready, and you look over and you can see, here comes Thorvum and Vivi, big grins on their faces, and they're just like they're almost hooting and hollering over how hilarious it was, and they're starting to go into their tale, like, we shut them ablaze, and then they see Floy, like, oh, brother, and they kind of rush to him at that point.
He should be fine. We just need to get him out of here.
Yes. Did you fell the beast? Did you take him?
We did.
Of course you did. Of course you did, yes. It was Floy, I assume, who swung the final blow, yes?
He contributed quite a bit.
And then
he's like, of course. Brave, brother.
And then moments later, you see stepping out of the shadows, there's Marimbem as well. And you can see that she's got like this sort of sack of things that she's tying around her belt. And you can see there's like a sogginess to it. Like she may have got herself an extra trophy in the night. Do you all just race away from here?
I'd say so. Nothing I want is still there.
Okay.
That seems wise. I do think Auriniel needs to probably bind up her wound, because otherwise there's just going to be a blood trail following us.
Okay.
Do we immediately leave, or do we go to the hideout to see survey the madness of the next couple of days?
Let's get Auriniel bound up, and then chances are they're going to start, looking for whoever did it. So
Yeah.
staying put may not be a good idea.
Okay.
Auriniel's vote is to skedaddle.
And I would say most of you who've had history with orcs would know that at this point, with the leader gone, there's going to be some infighting for who takes over that position. And there's 3 candidates of note that there might be a lot of fighting. And this is the benefit of taking the head office, is you cause them to kind of sort of take each other out, or splinter or fracture in some way. All right, so who's going to roll that? Someone roll that heal test for Reniel's wound, whoever wants to do it.
Gilly, you got this with your nice pearl.
Maybe if I can hurry up and get Firefox instead of Chrome. Okay. And we still have dice as well, right?
We are back up to 3, actually, because we have incredibly generous viewers.
I'm gonna take
Thanks,
1.
guys.
Great success.
Woohoo.
Okay. All right, so
So that reduces. Okay, so great success means there are 2
I think it reduces it by 2 days.
by 2 days. So I go from 5 days to 3 days.
Okay. So we're gonna montage this no matter what you guys do. Do you stay around to watch to see what happens, or do you just go?
I think we're gonna go.
Okay. So you leave. It's nighttime. So you're gonna get a massive head start. So you travel and you travel. We'll say that you're able to probably, by morning, as long as you're traveling the whole night through, you're able to put miles between yourselves. You probably are able to get past that frozen lake. You bypass that large tree. You circumvent that significantly. You don't no threats at any point. And eventually you work your way back within probably a day or 2, back towards Mount Grom, the Ettenmoors. You kind of know a path It's a little dicey here and there, but you're able to, we'll say, through some sort of carefulness and just knowing the path through, and plus there's more of you now kind of traveling together as the dwarves are with you. But we'll say eventually you're able to kind of work your way back through. I don't want to like clip you on the way out. That seems uninteresting and anticlimactic. But we'll say that you're able to make your way eventually back to the other side of Mount Graham. It's going to take you probably the better part of 5 days to do so, between leaving the camp with the wounded. Eventually Floy obviously will wake up, and we'll say at some point you make it back to Marimbem's kind of hideout on the southern side of Mount Graham. Now, at this point, the decision has to be made, as winter is almost upon you. Like trying to stay up here during this time could be extraordinarily dangerous. People are wounded, people are tired. The goal of Thorvum and Thievi has been completed. They wanted to kill Rotag. Did any of you, by the way, retroactively, would you have taken that other dwarf with you, or would you have left him there? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
Gilly would have grabbed him.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll say,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, okay. I'd forgotten to ask. So we'll say you kind of take that body with you as well. At some point during that journey, Thorvum and Thievi, if they ever get a look, which they certainly would, they actually would recognize this individual as being somebody from their colony specifically. So like they take kind of a moment to sort of mourn. And maybe when Floy's awake, same thing happens at this point. No one seems to blame you, Auriniel, considering the situation.
Auriniel blames Auriniel.
Yeah. But considering everything, yeah.
When we have a chance, like, Gilly would be like, how can we honor him? What rites should be performed?
So sorry, I was just looking for the guy's name. I had it, but I don't have it on my notes that I'm looking at right now, unfortunately. One moment. Talk amongst yourselves.
That dwarf was never making it out of that fight alive, even if you hadn't shot him. Rotag would have been swinging him on that chain or something like that.
That's exactly what I was going to do, by the way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that when I was listening back to last week's episode, I thought about the fact that like it's probably someone that we should rescue. And then like when we got to the moment of battle, it's like, okay, there's two, let's get one of them down. And then as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, damn.
There's no way Jeff would have let us get away with that. We would need some extraordinary rolls.
Well, and
Yeah.
like the art that he picked was so good too, because I didn't even think about it being anything.
Right,
and
yeah.
I was just like, oh yeah, we need to hit that shit.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh,
Otherwise, Auriniel would have been like absolutely insufferable with like her being the one to like take Rotag down. But that definitely kind of undercuts like she's
yeah.
There's no bragging coming from her.
I would have bragged on your behalf to Marimbem, saying that she was too hard on you before.
Okay. So they name the the name that they give is Regan. And they say to you, like Thorvum will say to you all, if you speak with Balin, inform him. Regan will say, older man, and was friend to Balin after Fundin, Balin's father, was slain at the battle of Az-Anol Bazaar to end the war of orcs and dwarves. He will want to know. We will take Regan's body with us, but he was a brave man. He died, albeit at your hand, Auriniel, but it was a mercy. The condition he is in, I wonder if he was not himself for quite some time. And so like he kind of looks at you sort of like your face, and he's like, do not let his death weigh on you too harshly. What you have done here has far outpaced anything, any negative feelings, any sadness or remorse. You would be glad that one such as yourself, who could have slain the great Rotag, was able to do so. And if his death at all aided in the felling of that beast, then so be it. You honor him, and think no more of it.
Thank you for your kindness.
So, Ashley, roll a d12, and then
D12?
Floy, roll a d12.
3.
9.
Okay. When you return to Marimbem's place, you look around for Beat and Root. Gilly, which one's yours? Which one of the ponies is yours?
Root.
You find
Oh, no.
them both. However, Root has been severely injured, attacked by some wild beast, but is not dead. All it means is that they'll be unable to you probably don't want to let Root carry too much of the load on your return trip to the Brelands. A 9. Floy, you can tell that Beat seems to be in relatively good condition. They were kind of nearby, kind of hiding here and there, but otherwise, yeah, they'd be fine. Had you rolled an Eye of Sauron, they would have definitely been dead.
Oh.
So at this point, we're kind of coming to the end of the adventuring phase for this, and the question just remains is, mechanically, like, where do you want to head now?
I think back south, right? It's coming wintertime. I don't know if we want to be up north anymore.
Marimbem will warn you against it.
Where
Looking
are
back
Thorvin
to
and
our-
Phoebe heading?
They're
Go to
eventually,
the south. Right?
yeah, they live in a small colony of dwarves that were kind of left over in the Dunland, which is far to the south of
Yeah,
the
I
map that
see
you can
the
currently see.
Dunland. Okay.
So there's like a history, like the dwarves temporarily stayed down there, and then eventually they moved up to the Blue Mountains. But I described it like a colony of dwarves stayed behind. So they can travel with you at the very least for
Like
a little
half
while.
the way.
Yeah, at the very least.
So the question is, do we want to try to... Because it was west where we thought Lottie was headed? Because that was sort of our decision point, was which way we were going
Yeah.
earlier.
I mean, this is like literally two major. I mean, like the way the game functions, you probably don't want to do those. You want to have a fellowship phase probably first.
Yeah,
you know
we
winter's
do.
coming, and you know that
Yeah, we're
everyone's
trying to get back. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
we want to go back to Bree at least.
okay.
Why
Or-
did Marimbem warn us against going south?
She didn't warn you against going south. She warned you against staying up here for the winter. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Erebon would be reluctant at any mention of a town or place like that, and he might even suggest that it's time to part ways.
Are you kidding me? We just met. We slayed of this foul beast together, and now you want to leave?
Master Dwarf, it has been some time since I have been welcome in the civilized lands.
Okay, well, what does that matter? You'll be with us.
You speak like we're welcome there.
I am welcome. I live there. You'll come to my house. It'll be fine.
I am not necessarily welcome to all of the places that I go, but it doesn't mean that when my bones are weary and I need respite that I don't go with my company and take advantage of the rest.
I will travel with you at least to the Great Road and then make my decision then.
I just think we've had a win. And yes, it's time to to regroup and figure out where we're going from here. But the battle's not over. There's still tasks to be done, and if you'll join us in that, we'll need you.
I admit I have greatly enjoyed your company these past few days. It has been a welcome change.
So then it's decided you're coming home with me. That's perfect. And then Gilly will just start. It's decided.
And you can always, after you've gotten some good food in your stomach and slept some nights in perhaps an actual bed.
It'll be great. You can meet my uncles. You'll really like my uncle. He made my lantern for me, and like Gilly's on it now.
Gilly, your
Hereupon is
argument was
immediately
very
regretting his
impressive at
decision.
first, but it's very rapidly.
Aurelial will sort of note the I am sort of envisioning, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Erebon was like sort of agreement, and then you sort of see kind of a stiffening up a little bit as Gilly
Yeah.
kind of keeps going. And so Aurelial will just sort of kind of put an arm around Gilly and just say, I think the more that we can give him his space alone while coming back with us, the more likely he might be to stay.
I mean, if we have to, I have a rope and we can hog tie him.
No, I don't think that's necessary. I just think all of the family, I don't think he's going to be joining us.
Okay, well, you can meet my family.
I would be so welcome to meet your family.
Okay, cool. That'll be great.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
And Irene will just sort of look back to Erebon and just...
I'll
You
give you a
kinda-
thankful nod.
You kind of like nudge Gilly towards like Thorbum and Thebe. So you guys did say that I could interview you for my novel. Tell me about your great adventures. And that's what
they-
she'll wind down her
And
night with.
then they launch off into what they were doing before you encountered them. Last question, and then we'll break for the night. What do you do with Marimben? Do you try to convince her to come with you? Do you
I'll
leave
actually
her
like, offer
here?
like to come down. Maybe she hasn't been civilized, just like Airbound here for a while. Maybe meet up with her husband again. Who knows?
Make a case, and then I want to roll because like it's not a guarantee for her. She's been struggling to sort of decide on these types of things. So whoever can contribute to this, and then we'll make a case to kind of bring her back. Because saving her, kind of she's been pushed down her shadow path, right? Like that's kind of the idea we're playing with here. And are you able to help try to bring her back? Has her time with you over this past fortnight, has this been enough to perhaps kind of bring her back? So what do you say to her? And then let's make a roll.
I would say Aurelial's contribution would be... because last episode we were talking about how Irinial was kind of sharpening her blade the same way that Maribem was, and kind of watching what she was doing and kind of parroting some of those things. So Irinial's sort of going to go in the direction of kind of like how much she could learn from Maribem if she continued to spend time with the group.
Does anybody else contribute a thought to this?
Yeah, I'll
Gilly,
say
yeah.
how when we first came here, we were all like hope and flowers, we like naive pretty much. Now that we spent these harsh days here, we've hardened ourselves and gained this experience. It goes to show that not all is dreadful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She kind of you definitely get this, and she's nodding along, and she like kind of looks at Irinial, and especially when Irinial starts like playing with the idea of like her teaching her, right? Like kind of playing to almost like that idea of daughter, but not heavily to the point where it might offend her. And so you can see there's something to that there with her. But then Floy starts talking about the idea of how like you've all changed just in the time that you can definitely tell like something's kind of you can see she's considering it. What do you say, Gilly?
Gilly just mentions just how many situations that they've been through and how much she's learned from her, and that she just doesn't want that to end, and that she feels like they've forged such a strong friendship, and that even she herself said it's rough up here, and yes, I'm sure she could survive it, but if she could even come down with us, that would be a gift to Gilly.
Okay. Erebon, do you contribute at all?
Erebon definitely looks like he's going to say something, but then he decides against it.
Okay. One of the other three of you go ahead and take go ahead and roll, and then we'll say, because I think the three of you made pretty good arguments. Someone can roll and then we'll say you can take favored because I think all three of you made pretty good appeals to her. It sounds like a persuade to me, but obviously you can make a case otherwise. But if one of the three of you wants to make that roll, and you can take it at favored.
Not original.
What's your persuade at, Floyd?
I have 1. My wits is 15.
I have 1 and it's 17.
I have 2 in persuade.
What's your
Yes, you can
target?
Boost that at all.
14 is my wits.
It should be you.
Do you have any audience dice or anything left?
We do. We have 2.
Okay, I'll take a. Well, this is it for tonight, right?
This is it.
Bring her
We're-
home.
Yeah,
This is a lot.
Let's do
yeah,
2.
we're breaking right after this. It's the last thing I wanted to settle.
And it is favored.
Okay.
Success.
So you see, she definitely thinks about it for a bit. She doesn't answer immediately right away, but after a while, you notice that she starts packing up things around her place. You can see she starts packing up some of the stuff that you probably recognize as her daughter's for sure, like a bow that she doesn't use and some sketches and here and there. She packs them up very carefully. Some things she leaves, but nothing that looks particularly valuable. And she never even gives you an answer. She just packs these up and then just joins you as you leave. And that's it. And she never says a yes or a no. And she just starts to travel with you.
Gilly is grinning, but she doesn't say anything, but she's very happy.
So the 4 of you, Marimben and your 2 dwarven friends, Thorvim and Thievi, who are carrying the body of Regan, their friend from their colony, former friend of Fundin and Balin. As you journey back towards the Breelands, and we will go ahead and end the session for tonight. We will end that adventuring phase, and we will start up next session with a fellowship phase, and not just any fellowship phase, but the Yule fellowship phase, as it is wintertime. We'll kind of go through that next time.
Yay.
Great job, guys. You all survived.
That was such a good session, Jeff.
Wow.
Such a
Nicely
good
done.
battle. That was
Alright.
terrifying the whole time.
It was really close. I got really
Yeah.
nervous for you guys. I got really nervous because it was getting towards the end. I'm like, oh my god, he's got 10 health left. If I once I took Floy out of it, I was like, oh boy, he's the heaviest
I
hitter.
know. I was like, oh god.
And if I take one of the other 2 out, Erebon or Renio, that means the other one gets both attacks in the next turn. I'm like, there's
Mhm.
just no way. I was only down to 2 hate though by the end, and I was trying not to overspend it because he had 10 hate to work with. So, it was very,
I
very
ended
scary.
up with 8 endurance.
Yeah. You guys did a great job. You guys did so much great work, for the prep and stuff. So I was trying to turn it into its own little kind of mini sort of strategy game where the sort of the status of that fight was going to be dictated by all of the different things that you all do around the encampment. You all came up with good ideas.
The prep was a ton of fun for me as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
that as much as
Yeah.
the fight. And of course, Aurenial's masterful battle plan was awesome. Really helped us get there.
Really did. Wow, that was to scale. Look at that. You guys just moving big stones all over the place inside the cave.
I love that moment.
Oh my gosh, I was
boy.
so worried because it was the whispers and all of the coughing and everything that we had, and that
Yeah.
took some, and then the first battles. Oh no.
Yeah, I felt bad about the first battle, but I was honestly shocked that you all didn't see them because you were
awareness.
going
Yeah.
to come up on
Yeah,
them and they
we
were going to be
failed, yeah.
sleeping, and so it would have been an easy
Yeah,
kill. I was
Just
shocked. I was like,
horrible dice.
I'm like, oh no, yeah, okay. Let's do some closing plugs. Normally we would have our game tonight, Steven, but Chuck decided he likes Adam and Jeremy more than he likes you and me.
I know, right? What a jerk.
So when is the next time we're playing Darkest House then?
2 weeks from today
Okay.
is when we'll be playing. That will be the 9th.
Yeah. So you should come check that out. That is there's a Monty Cook game. Monty Cook Games. You can find our previous episodes over on the Defenders of Cobalt YouTube. It's a scary story.
And
Yeah.
just like this episode, we started with Ashley on the brink of death. Darkest House will start with Ashley on the brink of death yet again.
Some
I
people
feel a
say
trend,
we're
you
going
know?
to the well once too often, but you know, Gilly fell down a well, so I mean it makes sense.
Yeah.
Or Ashley did.
Oh, wow.
Well. Oh my god.
Let's see. The rest of us, let's see. Monday, we'll be playing some Ultraviolet Grasslands here. Should be the finale of that campaign, actually, more than likely. So come check that out. 9 Central. Next Friday, Traveler. We just did our character creation for Traveler. Gonna be doing our first real ep, seeing the characters we made at work. And then next Saturday, we'll be back to One Ring, and we'll be digging into some Yule Fellowship phase. Depending on how fast
Yay.
that goes, we might even start the adventuring phase. We'll see how it goes. Looking forward to that. So. But that's it. Thank you for everyone who hung out tonight. Thank you to everyone who threw out bits, who threw out subs. You really totally helped the party for sure.
So much.
And
Saved us for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We just really, really appreciate it. People are so kind and so supportive, especially of this One Ring game. We can't thank you enough. We will go ahead and raid someone for you. I'm gonna go ahead and probably throw us onto Vorpal Tales. Looks like they're playing some Pathfinder. So hang tight, follow the raid, find someone else to watch for the rest of your night, and enjoy the remainder of your weekends. So good night, everybody.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.